Salute everybody. Welcome to Switching Lanes with Miss Parker. Miss Parker. I hope everybody's having a blessed Sunday. I got my coffee, but I'm gonna go give me like just fill it up just a bit. Hey Top Flight sis. I see you, love. Come in, get comfortable. Give me a second. Gotta refill that coffee, y'all. Gotta refill the coffee. So I'm just getting up, getting myself together. Top Flight, happy Sunday, love. Yeah, I be getting so much information and stuff from my subscribers to talk about this case and this case and this case and this case. And with the Naziah Harris being the latest case, I was like, it's only right that I talk about some stuff that can bring a little light. Hey everybody, hey, give me a second, y'all. To make sure. Okay. Hey, Dragon. Hey, Marie. Hey, sis. Happy Sunday to you guys. Good morning. Hope y'all got y'all coffee. I got like 3 more lives set up. The next live I'm gonna do is gonna be can't argue with stupid. You only got one life to live. You can't argue with stupid people. And I'm gonna kind of break down this stupid person, okay? And why we can't argue with them. Some people want to suck the life out of you, just suck it right out of you. But this morning I wanted to talk about the case of a failed system versus Rica Rountree. Salute to you, Dragons. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Turn on your notification bells and please share out the live. Welcome to Switching Lanes, everybody. Feel free to help me reach my goal of 5 by purchasing a super sticker or super chat. Also, come and take a ride with me by joining my Switching Lanes membership, if you don't mind. And let me read my copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Hey, positive sis. Hey, good morning. Happy Sunday, sister. Hey, Colton. Happy Sunday. But yeah, I hope everybody had a blessed weekend. We are at the end of our weekend. I told you guys it just comes so fast. I don't know why it just comes weekend like we heard, then we heard, then it's like Monday again. So yeah, before we get started, I want to ask my chat and get it because I don't want it to be so sad and drawn out. But these shows, trivia questions, good times or what's happening is the show. Thank you, Positive. Thank you, sis. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. Remember that, y'all. Which show would you prefer and why? Not just pick the show. Tell me why you picked it between Good Times and What's Happening. And before I leave, I got a couple of more. Marie, tell me why Good Times, love. Tell me why. So this is a case of a young lady where she was totally failed by the system. And I want y'all to hear what they said versus to what's still happening today in a lot of states. It's important that we shed light to these situations in these cases to save our kids. And that's what I'm about today. Doing these lives and saving our children. And bring back good memories. Remember, you guys, the trivia question is good times or what's happening in the shows and why. All right, guys, let's get into this. So many times has the system failed, and I've done a couple of stories a few months ago. When I first kind of got started, that's where I really wanted to kind of center around and stuff. And then the Shanquilla Robinson case happened and stuff like that. So it's Gabriel Hernandez, one of the saddest cases I heard. And then it was a young lady. I forgot her name, y'all say it, but I did. I've done so many. demonstrations. But then it was a younger ninth grade, and these stories all match. They all match because it's been a failed system. So with this one, I know that the system is set up for failure. So y'all ride with me while we switch lanes this morning. Get y'all coffee and just tune in with me and just vibe out and let's listen to how the system failed Rica Rountree.
An adult language and is not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Thank you, AC Shakur. Thank you. And for those coming in, thank you so much, AC Shakura. Hey, Vibrant, my love. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. And yes, AC Shakura, it is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month to each and every one of y'all. Let's get educated this month. And so much other stuff. Good morning, Jug. Happy Sunday to you. But thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all. I just appreciate y'all for being in attendance. But again, this is a failed. And thank you, AC Shakur, for the gifted membership. And please say hello to your neighbor and thank AC Shakur for that gifted membership, you guys. Always say thank you. It doesn't hurt to say thank you when somebody opens the door for you. Anything, they help you in any kind of way, just show that appreciation and say thank you. But thank you, AC Shakur. I appreciate that. I don't know who got gifted, but thank you so much. It means everything. And again, remember, y'all, it's Black History Month, and I'm going to shed awareness to some of these cases that we've overlooked and how the system is failing us all around the world.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Suffer the Little Children, the true crime podcast giving voices back to the victims of child abuse and shining a harsh spotlight on the parents, guardians, and caretakers who silence them. I'm your host, Lane, and this is episode 73, Rica Rountree, Part 1. Despite multiple allegations of abuse against Richard Rountree and his girlfriend, Cindy Baker, Illinois DCFS never saw fit to remove his battered 8-year-old daughter, Rica, from their home, accepting their glib explanations for Rica's cuts, welts, bruises, scars, and countless other injuries. The girl was just clumsy. On January 25th, 2019, Rica was rushed to the hospital, unresponsive, with a huge bruise on her abdomen. Despite surgery to repair her internal injuries, Rica died the following day. After a search warrant turned up disturbing videos of Rica's abuse, Cindy Baker was arrested and charged with murder. This is the story of a sweet, kind little girl who could make anyone smile and who loved her dolls like they were her own children. It's also the story of the failure of Illinois Department of Children and Family Services to protect yet another vulnerable child from targeted and obvious child abuse. This is part 1 of the horrific story of Rica Rountree. Before I get into Rica's story, I'd like to thank my newest patrons. Jody from Melbourne, Florida, Lynn from Bradford, Ontario, Brooke from Pace, Florida, Brittany from Ironwood, Michigan, Stephanie from Rainford, St. Helens in the United Kingdom, Leah from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and Melanie from Whiteville, North Carolina. Thank you all so much for your monthly pledges. If you'd like to support the show and help me get closer to my goal of permanently devoting myself to Suffer the Little Children full-time, you can visit patreon.com/stlcpod. Thank you to all of my patrons and to all of my listeners. Today's story is a tough one and not for the faint of heart, but this little girl absolutely deserves to have her story told. So let's jump right in. At 1:02 p.m. on April 16, 2010, Rica J. Rountree was born at St. Joseph's Hospital in Bloomington, Illinois, to 31-year-old Antoinetta Garnetta Beasley and 21-year-old Richard James Rountree. Rica was Anne's 5th child and only girl, so she had a very special place as the baby and the princess of the family. Rica was a bright, highly creative, precocious, independent little girl with beautiful dark skin and brown eyes that held a wisdom far beyond their years. Rica did well in school, loved playing with and picking on her older brothers, and treated her collection of dolls like they were her own babies. Her mom, Anne, would later say in an interview,
So I became a grandma of all the little doll babies, and she would go to like yard sales and pick up like strollers and car seats and clothes and Pampers at the store she needed, baby bottles, all that stuff.
Anne and Richard shared a tumultuous relationship. On June 19, 2014, the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services received its first report about the family, saying that an older sibling was sent to a psychiatric hospital after a physical altercation with Anne. The sibling reported that his mother and another sibling choked him and threw him through a screen door. DCFS deemed the report unfounded and closed the investigation. 3 months later, DCFS received another report, this one alleging that Anne and Richard were physically fighting in front of the children. This report was also closed as unfounded.
Let's stop right there for what we just heard. This is with her mother. We're starting with Rica being with her mother and the mother's boyfriend at the time. And each time that DCBS got called, the DFC, whatever, it was unfounded. Everything keeps being unfounded until I'm going to let y'all hear what happened to young Rica. But salute to you, Nika. Salute to you, China, my poo. Pee-wee, I see you, cousin. Thank you for coming through. To each and every one of y'all. Vibrant, thank you for dropping another disclaimer. Thank you.
In October of 2015, another report was made to DCFS alleging neglect due to domestic violence. Once again, police were called to the Rountree home on a report of physical fighting between Richard and Anne in front of the children. Richard was arrested, but his charges were ultimately dropped, and again, DCFS closed the investigation as unfounded. Around this time, Anne and Richard's relationship ended for good, and Anne went back to using her maiden name, Simmons. By this time, Anne was in a downward spiral of drug and alcohol use. In December of 2015, she was cited for driving on a suspended license and ignoring a stop sign. Several days later, she was involved in a head-on vehicle collision in which she was driving the wrong way and found to be intoxicated at the time. Anne was subsequently charged with aggravated DUI in the case. On December 18th, a DCFS case was opened under the agency's Intact Family Services Program, which, according to its brochure, is designed to work with at-risk families who have been referred for continuing assistance and monitoring following a child abuse or neglect investigation. Anne was provided with emergency cash assistance through this program, which helps families obtain housing and other things they need to keep their children in their care. The following June, DCFS received a complaint against Anne, alleging substantial risk of harm through incidents of physical violence or intimidation. Whoever provided the report claimed that Anne instigated a physical altercation between her son and a neighbor's child. This report was closed as unfounded as well.
Another one
September
closed.
29th, 2016 was the last day Anne officially had custody of Rica. That was the day when 2 undercover agents bought cocaine from her boyfriend, Deontay Harper, in her home while Rica and her stepbrother were present. Both Anne and her boyfriend were arrested and charged with various counts related to the manufacturing or delivery of cocaine, narcotics, and cannabis. Anne ultimately pleaded guilty to a single count of manufacturing or delivery of 1 to 15 grams of cocaine and was sentenced to 68 days in jail. Deontay received a 6-year prison sentence. Anne later said in an interview from prison,
Drugs is real. Nobody is 8, 9 years old saying, when I grow up, I want to be a drug addict. When I grow up, I want to be.
And this is Rica's mother.
I want to put my children through troubles. Nobody.
When Anne was arrested, Rica was sent to stay with her father, Richard, and his live-in girlfriend, Cynthia Marie Baker, also known as Cynthia Clay, who went by the nickname of Cindy. It would later be revealed that DCFS had twice placed Cindy on a list of known child abusers, but despite this, they apparently had no qualms about allowing Rica to live with the woman.
Did y'all hear that?
Placed on probation.
They had all these reports against the baby's father because now Anne, Rica's mother, has been locked up. Her and her boyfriend's been locked up for drugs. So she has no choice but to let Rica go live with her father, whose household has child abuse and child endangerment things, but they let the kid go and live with him and the girlfriend. Pay attention. Failed system versus Rica Rountree. And it's not a failed, when I say failed system, We can't think it's just the DCBS or whoever, whatever they're called, the CPS. It's everybody. It's the family. It's everybody. The mother, the father. But y'all gonna hear the mother speak. And when y'all hear people speaking, that's the mother. You're gonna hear the social worker speak. It's just sad.
She was eventually able to establish visitation with her daughter again. Right away, the change in Rica's behavior was apparent to her.
So she was playing with her brother and she was whipping at him, and she's like, "This is the kind of belt Cindy hits me with."
Concerned, Anne spoke with police, who advised her to obtain a restraining order against Richard, which was granted by a judge. As a result, on July 23, 2017, DCFS received a report saying that Cindy Baker regularly whipped Rica with a belt, and Richard Rountree made her stand for long periods holding cans with her arms outstretched. An investigation was opened, during which Rica was sent back to stay with Anne, who was shocked when DCFS deemed the allegations as unfounded.
He made it seem like I was bitter and disgruntled behind him, and it wasn't. I just wanted him to take the time out to listen to Rica because Rica no love.
When the DCFS case was closed, Rica was returned to her father, who had received permanent custody of the little girl in the divorce settlement. Rica took the news as hard as her mother did.
That was the hardest thing. Next to finding out that she had died is the look on my baby's face, and we cried.
As their visitations continued, Anne watched as Rica's behavior continued to change.
She was just different. She was more reserved. She was really cautious about a lot of stuff, whereas before she was carefree. She ran the house. She was a princess. She did what she wanted to do.
Meanwhile, Anne was not in the best mental place after her best efforts to protect her daughter from abuse had been shut down by DCFS. And on top of that, Richard stopped allowing Anne to see her daughter. As her downward spiral continued, in October of 2017, Anne was charged with battery, and in November, she was charged with forgery. After several months of being rebuffed when she tried to see Rica, in April of 2018, Anne visited Rica at school and was horrified at her daughter's condition. She called DCFS immediately and told them Richard and Cindy were abusing Rica, citing a shocking list.
And that's the mother going to visit Rica in school. This is the mother. So she's going to see her daughter in school, and she sees that her daughter is battered and beaten. And Anne herself called the CPS. She called the authorities.
A list of injuries her daughter had suffered, including cuts, welts, bruises, a broken front tooth, a split lip, a black eye, a healing gash over one eye, and old and new scars on her neck. Her hair had also been shorn off close to the scalp. Rica had also told her teacher that she was afraid to go home. DCFS Child Protection Specialist Stephanie Moreau was sent to the school to interview Rica, who told the woman no one in the home was hurting her, and she wasn't afraid of anyone in the home. Rica explained away her injuries as accidental, saying the gash over her eye was caused by hitting her eye on the medicine cabinet while reaching for a hairbrush, and her broken tooth was caused when she fell onto a drawer in the bedroom. Remember, at this point, Rica had already told DCFS she was being whipped with a belt and otherwise abused, and even so, she was sent right back to the home, and she hadn't been able to see her mom again. It's perfectly understandable that she'd be afraid to disclose the abuse again for fear of what would happen to her that time. Ms. Moreau, the DCFS employee who interviewed Rica, decided 6 days later that the allegations of abuse were unfounded, and her supervisor, Mark Orwell, approved the conclusion. The investigation was closed as unfounded on June 19, 2018. That visit to Rica's school in April of 2018 was the last time Anne would ever see her daughter in person.
Unfounded. The mother. Whelps. Broken teeth. Bruises. Cuts. And again, a failed system. Unfounded. Doesn't that sound so familiar with the Naziah Harris case right now? And so many other cases that's come along before Naziah Harris, Ayanna Sawyer. So many. Unfounded. Hey, happiness. Hey, happiness. Happy Sunday.
By October of 2018, Anne said her ex-husband had made it crystal clear he was fed up with Rica.
He was telling me that I need to find a knight in shining armor to save Rica because he didn't want nothing to do with her. He didn't want to pay child support. He didn't want visits. He didn't want to be her father. He just wanted her to be adopted out so that he didn't have any obligation to her.
By that time, the only contact Anne had with Rica was by phone or video call, and even those were few and far between. All the while, Anne and Richard's custody battle raged on in court. At that time, Rica was a third grader at Fox Creek Elementary School in Bloomington, where Cindy's daughter was enrolled in kindergarten. That fall, staff at the school noticed that Rica was attending school without a winter coat despite the frigid Illinois temperatures, so, out of the kindness of their hearts, they provided Rica with a coat. Cindy took exception to this, storming into the school, irate, and accusing them of favoring Rica over her own daughter, who, by the way, had her own winter coat. After this bizarre incident, on December 10th, 2018,
Let's stop right there. Cuts, bruises, broken teeth, 8 years old. Winter storm, no coat. See, the stepmother is a blue woman. She's white. She went to the school and raised hell. How dare y'all give her a coat? I sent her to school without a coat. Y'all didn't give my baby a coat, even though her baby had a coat. But I sent her to school without a winter coat, and that's how I wanted her to come home. That's what the stepmother went and disputed with the teachers. But remember, belt system versus Rica Rountree. Nothing was founded.
DCFS received yet another report of abuse against Richard Rountree and Cindy Baker after school staff noticed Rica missed 2 days of school and returned with 2 black eyes in different stages of healing. Once again, a DCFS protection specialist, Patricia Shannon, visited the school to interview Rica. The school nurse told Ms. Shannon that Rica had other marks on her face not consistent with an accidental trip, but rather evidence of child abuse. Rica, again likely too afraid of the potential consequences to tell the truth about her injuries, told the woman she was out of school for 1 day because she was sick, and the next day because she fell onto her toys when she was packing them into a box in her closet, causing her black eyes. Anne later said, "She is scared. She's not going to talk to you guys and tell you guys the truth because you guys keep talking to her and putting her right back. If I tell you the truth like I told my mom the truth, then you put me back and I get beat worse. You take me out and I make trouble for these people, then I get beat worse. So yeah, I fell on my toys." Miss Shannon called both Cindy and Richard early on the afternoon of December 11th, asking them to take Rica to a doctor, as per DCFS procedure. Richard told her that Rica's doctor was on vacation and reported that he does not have the money to go to the emergency room or prompt care because it would cost $200.
Let's pause right there. She's going in with these broken teeth, cuts, bruises, and now the school has reported about young Rica and the things they're seeing on this young baby's body. And this piece of shit of a man that's supposed to be her father said, "I don't got money. I don't have nothing to bring her. I don't got $200 to bring her to see nobody. She's got to suffer these injuries." Good morning, Short Stack and Happiness. I dropped the link. Happiness said, "Are you going to open the panel? I'm an ex-DC FS worker. I can walk through the protocol at the home visits, multiple case investigations, FCSS, and other things. And I will continually drop the link. I just want to play a little bit more, but you are welcome, Happiness. You are welcome." I don't know, Top Flight. It's almost scary, y'all. It's almost scary. But happy Sunday. Short Stack, my love, I see you. Okay.
DCFS, they would take Rica to another doctor in Pontiac. The doctor told DCFS later that an x-ray he ordered of Rica's injuries was never completed. Cindy was indeed told by DCFS and the doctor in Pontiac to take Rica for x-rays, but she refused to take her, giving DCFS the excuse that her medical card had expired, and besides, she was too busy caring for the other kids. Just after 5 p.m. on December 11th.
Hold on. We're going to get back to 5 p.m. The stepmother. I don't got time to take her to the doctor. I got my own kids to take her of. Do y'all know what it's like as adults? And I've been there, y'all. Good morning, Jim. Happy Sunday to you, sis. I've been there where I'm grown and I don't feel the love from my significant other. And it hurts. As much as we might not want to get on here sometimes and we want to pretend like everything is in life is so sweet, we be hurt. So imagine in your youth, you're innocent. You didn't ask to be here. And every child, boy and girl, just wants to be loved. They want to feel accepted. They want hugs. They want kisses. They want to feel like they belong. Not failed. Not hurt. Y'all.
Miss Shannon interviewed Cindy's teenage daughter, who said she wasn't home when Rica fell on her toys, but she remembered Rica saying something about it. The worker tried to interview Cindy's 6-year-old daughter, but Cindy wouldn't allow it, saying that DCFS has made her children anxious due to the frequent visits and interviews. Cynthia reported that children fall and have accidents all the time. She is not understanding how come it is abuse with Rica. Richard told Ms. Shannon that Rica may just be clumsy. The very same day, DCFS received a report of inadequate shelter, inadequate supervision, and lockout pertaining to Rica's half-sibling against Anne. The child had been living out of state with a maternal relative, who sent the youth back to Illinois to live with Anne, who said she was homeless and in need of drug treatment. She agreed to intact services, which began on December 27, 2018. After the school's intervention, Cindy pulled her daughter and Rica from the school and enrolled them at Prairie Land Elementary School in Normal, Illinois. To be fair, this appears to be because in December, the blended family moved from Bloomington to their new home at 407 Stanhope Lane in Normal. According to online realty websites, 407 Stanhope is a well-kept 2-story home occupying about 1,600 square feet of space with 3 bathrooms and 3 bedrooms, although photos of the property appear to show 4 bedrooms. In the home at that time, according to documents later released by DCFS, were Richard, Cindy, her 17-year-old son, her 15-year-old daughter, Rica, Cindy's 6-year-old daughter, and Rica's 1-year-old sister, who I assume is the child of both Richard and Cindy. Before the dawn of the new year, the DCFS investigation into the abuse allegations against Richard and Cindy, like those that came before it, was closed as unfounded, a decision approved by Patricia Shannon's supervisor, Daniel Norris. The following month, a judge decided Ann Simmons wasn't making enough progress on the terms of her probation from her aggravated DUI in 2015, saying her efforts to get her life back on track were too little, too late. Because of this, and as punishment,
The mother was told it's too little, too late because you're not doing what you're supposed to do from an aggravated DUI. But y'all just got all of these calls from the mother, the school, and everything's closed. But the mother with aggravated DUI, they said it's too little, you're just a little too late to get your daughter back. Failed system versus Rica Rountree.
Punishment for her forgery charge from 2017, Anne was sentenced to 2.5 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections on January 10, 2019. Her youngest son was taken into protective custody by DCFS, which indicated Anne for inadequate supervision. A juvenile court judge appointed DCFS the boy's temporary custodian on January 11th. Anne had a terrible feeling that her daughter was in serious danger. She later said, "I begged DCFS in January, and I told them I didn't care where Rica went, but somebody needs to go check on my daughter because they were going to kill her. I told them that my daughter was being tortured and was suffering. Even though I was telling the truth, my criminal history prevented anyone from taking me seriously."
So let me calm down. So the CPS people told the mother she's going to jail again. Now she's losing her other son because now they're saying inadequate home. I get that. But she's like, my baby can go anywhere. Just check on my baby. Because they're going to ill my baby. Just check on my baby. See, y'all, they always looking at somebody's past. We all messed up in some kind of way, shape, or form. Life has hit us like a ton of bricks in some way, shape, or form. It don't define who we are as parents. Because would I rob for mine to feed mine? Yeah. Would I probably sell some drugs to feed mine? And keep our head above water, keep a roof over our head. Yeah. Go get my child. Shaking my head legally. Took her chat. Man, AC. Salute Shankrock. Salute. Welcome. Happy Sunday to you.
Unfortunately, Anne's instincts were spot on. Barely 2 weeks after being sent to prison, she would receive the worst news any mother could ever hear. On January 25th, 2019, paramedics were summoned to 407 Stanhope Lane in Normal, Illinois, on a report of an unresponsive 8-year-old. They rushed Rica to Advocate Broman Hospital in Normal, from where she was quickly transferred to OSF St. Francis Medical Center in Peoria. That facility might sound familiar. It's the same hospital where 4-year-old Tate Thurman, whose story I told a few weeks ago in episode 71, died in February of 2020 after receiving multiple blows to the abdomen from his father's girlfriend. You can go ahead and consider that less than subtle foreshadowing. When she arrived at St. Francis Medical Center, Rica, who had a huge bruise on her abdomen, was taken into emergency surgery for her internal injuries. Despite the best efforts of the paramedics, surgeons, and other medical staff, on Saturday, January 26, 2019, Rica J. Rountree died from her injuries. Just 16 days into her prison term, Ann Simmons was pulled aside.
I got called to the chaplain's office, and they called my 18-year-old son, and my 18-year-old son had to do the worst thing he ever had to do in his life. And he had to tell me that my baby girl was gone. She wasn't coming back.
X on my neck. 16 days in incarceration, the mother, and the chaplain comes. Y'all know when they come, ain't no good news. Something happened. And they let her 18-year-old son tell her, Mom, Rica's dead. She's never coming back. The defense as a mother, you're useless in jail, okay? Imagine your 8-year-old baby while you're in jail due to life. Because no judging her, I've been there. But I never wanted to go home to an unalive child by the hands of their father and a stepmother. Okay? Happiness said the government always are viewing the history. Always are viewing the history. Once you have 3 cases that have been reason to believe you will have your children removed, closed case or not. But we get here to this phone call of 16 days incarcerated. The baby suffered by the action of adults that could have been prevented. Many occasions. AC, it was so many calls. So many calls from the school alone. The mother that's so bad because she wrote some cold checks. She got a DUI. She sold dope because the company she worked at shut down. She had a great job. And y'all hear about that next. But being judged the wrong way. Was it the crime she committed? Okay. No, not by far. But this,
the day Rica died, DCFS received a report that Rica was admitted to the hospital unresponsive, with life-threatening trauma in the form of a large bruise to her abdominal section. The allegations against Richard Rountree and Cindy Baker were causing death by neglect, torture, cuts, welts, and bruises, injuries by neglect, and substantial risk of physical injury or injurious environment. The other children in the home were sent to stay with relatives under a safety plan that included banning Richard and Cindy from contacting the kids. The same day, a child protection investigator talked to Richard and Cindy about Rica's injuries. Both denied punching or kicking Rica in the stomach. They were also interviewed separately by police that evening. During Cindy's interview with juvenile detective Kendra DeRosa, Cindy told the detective that in Rica's last few days, she vomited onto her plate at dinner, said she couldn't see, and almost fell down the stairs. She didn't.
Y'all gonna hear what happened to this baby's abdomen. Y'all heard what they just asked the father and this sick ass, she ain't even a stepmother. But this sick, disgusting piece of shit was asked, both of them. Wasted sperm, should swallow babies. I call them, these type of people, Jarvis butts and all them, swallow babies. Did y'all kick her? Her abdomen was bruised. 8 years old. Man, y'all kiss and love y'all babies today. Kiss and love them. Kiss and love them.
Didn't seek medical attention for the girl, however, because she said sometimes Rica would fake being sick or injured for attention. Rica's autopsy was performed on January 26th by Dr. Matthew Fox at the Peoria County Coroner's Office. In his report, Dr. Fox detailed an unimaginable list of injuries and scars from previous injuries. I've only seen portions of the report, but one page alone described over 60 scars on Rica's face, chin, jaw, neck, chest, back, forearm, hand, buttock, thighs, and lower leg. Dr. Fox's summary of findings included an ileal perforation, which is a tear in the last part of the small intestine, abdominal adhesions or small bands of scar tissue that are formed between the loops of the small intestine and the inner lining of the abdominal wall, bruises on Rica's face and right upper arm, peripancreatic hemorrhage or bleeding in the tissue surrounding the pancreas, pulmonary edema or fluid collecting in the lungs, cerebral edema or fluid buildup around the brain, abdominal and bilateral pleural effusions or fluid buildup at the abdomen and in the sacs surrounding the lungs, and multiple scars indicating child abuse. Rica's abdomen was filled with blood. Rica's death, Dr. Fox determined, was ultimately caused by peritonitis caused by blunt force injury to her abdomen. Peritonitis, which is caused by infection, is an inflammation of the tissue lining the abdominal cavity called the peritoneum. Bacteria can enter the peritoneum from a tear in the gastrointestinal tract. Symptoms of peritonitis can include severe abdominal pain, nausea and vomiting, fever, a sore or swollen belly, fluid in the abdomen, inability to have a bowel movement or pass gas, reduced urine output, thirst, difficulty breathing, low blood pressure, and shock. Peritonitis.
Did y'all hear the symptoms? AC, correct. Mercy. They tortured that baby. Absolutely. Happiness said, I tell you what, I am and was, but protective of my children. They are grown now. Thank God. This is sad. She couldn't have a bowel movement, y'all. She couldn't urinate. She lost vision. This baby lost her vision at 8 years old through abuse, not naturally. But she lost her vision. They beat her so bad, she lost her vision. She lost all ability. She couldn't stand, of course. What? I was and I am protective of my children. I really feel so bad for this baby.
This doesn't have to be fatal. It can be fixed if it's caught early enough. It can be diagnosed with x-rays, blood, fluid, and urine tests, CT scans, MRI, and exploratory surgery. For at least 2 days prior to her hospital admission, Rica had been vomiting and complaining of abdominal pain, and Cindy herself mentioned Rica's blurred vision and loss of balance. If this little girl had been taken for medical treatment during that time, she could have been saved. 5 days after Rica's death, on January 31st, 2019, DCFS received a report alleging substantial risk of physical injury or injurious environment, saying Richard and Cindy had violated the safety plan by having contact with the surviving children. I can't help but wonder if they were trying to ensure the kids were all telling the story they wanted them to tell. Soon afterward, Even though no criminal charges had been filed, Richard and Cindy hired an attorney to represent them. They did not hold a funeral or memorial service for Rica. When her body was released, they had her sent to a funeral home in Galesburg for cremation. On February 2nd, 2000.
Not only was these two sick pieces of shit not charged at that moment, what? They didn't have a funeral for the baby. This is the father, the swallow baby, sends his baby off to get cremated. Sends this precious angel to get cremated. No funeral. Nobody got to grieve the baby properly. The mother didn't get to see her face again one last time. They took her rights altogether. Y'all got the report that this baby's been abused. Only but to let him make a decision to cremate that baby and not even charge him at that point. Failed system versus Rica Rountree. Failed system versus Naziah Harris. Failed system versus Ayanna Sawyer. Failed system versus Gabriel Hernandez. Y'all go do y'all research.
2019, McLean County authorities picked up Rica's body from the funeral home before she could be cremated to have a second, more extensive autopsy performed by McLean County's chief forensic pathologist, Dr. Scott Denton. Only after the second autopsy was completed was Rica cremated. On February 11th, Richard and Cindy's surviving children were taken into protective custody. DCFS received temporary custody of the kids 2 days later through juvenile court, and from there, the children were placed into a home. In March, amid increased scrutiny and a great deal of criticism of their handling of the Rowntrees, DCFS released the following statement. DCFS is deeply saddened by the loss of Rica Rountree. DCFS's involvement with Rica began in 2014 while she was living with her biological mother and continued after she was removed from her mother's home and placed with her biological father. During her time with her father, DCFS conducted multiple investigations into allegations of abuse and found these allegations to be unfounded. There is currently...
Wait a minute. Thank you, Jude. Thank you. AC Shakur, I know it was scary, but they've had this girl in a case since 2014. She got on a live job in 2019 by these monsters. If that ain't failed, I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't even want to hear from this bitch at this point, from the CPS office. Your statement is, all of this makes me want to get sick. I'm sick to I had to put my coffee out. When I got up, I removed my coffee. I can't. But this has to be talked about. Because the lies that's in this, from this like this CPS worker, whatever y'all call it, I don't know, CPS. It's disturbing. These cases are getting worse and worse and worse because of the lies that they tell. Don't take the job. If you ain't got the passion to save a life, don't take the job. I say that to even the bitches at the DCBS office. Excuse my language today, God. Let me work real quick, please, my nerves. You ever go in a DCBS office for Medicaid or anything, and you need some assistance because maybe you got your child's kids, you got your nephews, your nieces, something, and they be so nasty as if they're taking it out of their pocket and handing it to you. And I've told them before, I'd be like, why do you work here? It's a job. Exactly. I always sit down with Shank and say, I want to be a healthcare worker. I want to, when my mother died in hospice in front of us, I took on that passion of wanting take care for people. I always worked in daycare because I love to teach. I hated sending my kids to daycare. Bitch, if you ain't teaching them and they ain't coming home with a plan and some, I want ABCs. What color are y'all working on? I had a book. I had a theme. I had a packet going home every Friday with those kids. But when they came in my care, I was responsible. I was their parent. But when I heard it's just a job, I know you don't care. So I know what I'm going to get when you say that. But see, I have passion. I care. That's what we got to get people out of the line of work that don't care. Y'all keep hiring people that just need a job. Hey, Candy Cane, happy Sunday.
Currently a pending investigation into this death, and we are committed to understanding exactly what happened in this case and being fully transparent with the public. DCFS is working closely with new administration to review our practices, policies, and procedures in order to fully live up to our mission to protect vulnerable children in Illinois. Meanwhile, the ongoing investigation into Rica's death led officials to obtain a search warrant. They struck the worst kind of gold when they searched Cindy's iCloud account, where they found 3 videos the woman had apparently recorded of herself abusing Rica. One of the videos alone.
This monster recorded herself abusing this baby. Hey, 80 sis. She recorded herself abusing this baby. Let me get the link for happiness real quick, because we got a couple more videos to go, y'all. This ain't it. Just when you think you've heard enough to make you go, oh, I can't, Miss Parker. I understand, y'all. But I gotta do the work. Like, I gotta do this kind of work. And sometimes it gets overwhelming and it just disturbs my peace. And I be telling God, I don't want to. But he said, you are. My girl, happiness. Happy Sunday, happiness to you. Hey, Denise, I see you, sis. What's going on, happiness?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know how to put my picture up there, but I don't know where to start. So I'm an DFCS employee. I work for the Department of Family Protective Services. I recently resigned in November. November 1 was my last day. And I couldn't go along with the role because I didn't like interfering with people's lives, especially when it involves children. We can go on and on past, child protective services involvement as a child myself. And I don't like messing with people in their lives, but only when it's necessary, right? So my training involves a lot with just really going out and investigating. I was an investigator, made good money. As an investigator, you make good money, doing what you do. But I wasn't doing it for the money. I was doing it for trying to help people. And as I go back into my colleagues and have this case investigated, some of them need to be dismissed because, your autism kids and, kids with disabilities, we investigate a lot of those people, involving those people when they already had, things going on. And so management and we just wasn't clicking and clacking when it came to that. And so I resigned, and I'm going more into, more law enforcement type work now. But to your point, in this case, we have seen a lot of kids die. When you guys, and in this sector, and so I don't know if it's the Mo3 sector part, because a lot of people come from that part, right? That's but they call CPS and they abuse the system when they're really kids that need the help. And so when you're calling to be a nuance instead of a help, just because you're mad at someone or whatever the case may be, you're not helping the system. You're only watering the system down. Well, they miss those cases like you're speaking of right now, Ms. Parker. And so it's important to look at the reason why you're calling, not for malice, because you can be charged. It's going to come a point in time in America, guys, where they're going to go back and review those files because they have. So I have a job. I had a job that I worked. Then we have artificial intelligence that go back and review those files, and they were tracking your numbers and your location. And then they have people that are also doing audits, right? And so you guys that are making these fraudulent calls that cause these types of cases to be ignored, where a child actually lose their life because they were missed. Okay, there are cases being built. Every time you call in to CPS, there is a case. We call them RTBs. We call them court order cases. There's different acronyms that we use in the system. Um, and when you have a reason to believe, that means that we found that, yeah, there may be some neglect and abuse going on, but we have put you on family based services. We put you in classes that you opted in to take, and we're working with you. Now, to have a removal, that means you absolutely just didn't comply with the state bare minimum standards. Replace them with your family. Like a lot of people on this site, I mean, in this sector and in this environment, choose to do. Um, there's a lot of things that I can cover. I mean, Miss Parker, I don't want to take over your thing, but I've said enough.
No, go ahead,
I'm
love.
open.
No, go ahead.
I'm open to any questions that anyone may have, but I graduated I graduated the academy, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a service person, so I worked in federal and state government for since 2009, and I've worked that area for over like almost 20 some odd years. So almost it's been about 14 years, 15 years. So um if you have any questions, I worked in food stamps. I worked in state health services with the HIV medication program up there in Dallas Fort Worth, in Dallas area, South Dallas area, where I ran that whole all Parkland and all those hospitals, Oak Cliff hospitals, the medication programs. And so you guys got to be really careful when you come out here and you're spilling information that you're not privy to, and then you're just making accusations, and because it's going to come back and bite you. You know what I'm saying? I don't work for any of those organizations now. I am self-employed. I answer to myself. But because I believe in what I believe in, and so since that is the goal of my life and what I believe in, that's going to make, and I hope to make America a better place, or even my state of Texas, a better place to be. um Someone for any questions, Miss Parker, that you may have.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a mother. This is so disturbing, but I got to. It be God put on you what He put on you, and it be crazy. But we have a mother, Ann's the mother, and unfortunately, she lost her job at the factory and or the company, and she worked there for a long time, making good money, and it was hard for her to get back on her feet, happiness, and so her and her boyfriend, started selling drugs, and along the way they get arrested. But they have had numerous calls about Rica and them being in the household with fighting and stuff like that. This stems from 2014. The unaliving comes January 2019. And once the once the system's involved, why didn't they remove her then? Secondly, they take her. The mother expressed like, it's some things that's going on over there in that household. I don't mind her going with her father, but check it out. Anne had told the people to check it out. As they're checking it out, they have abuse and everything already displayed. Why was Rika allowed to go over there? And the other children remained in that home for 5 years. Can you hear me, happiness?
So we have to go back to her records. Does she have previous history? Um, And then they'll go out and interview, like CPS go out and they interview. So let's start here. There's a call that comes in, the statewide intake. They take the call. We statewide intake works 24 hours a day. You can make a call 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. It can be from teachers, it could be from doctors, it could be from your neighbor, it could be from your mother, your father, anybody can make this call. We worked, well, I used to work. We on call 24 hours a day. Depending on um the circumstances, we would actually go out, whether there's police involved or whatever, we go out to the call. The next step is the call comes in, it's routed to an investigator automatically. That's my job. Whether you're a one, two, three, I'm investigator three, almost to supervisor level. Um, we'll go out and we investigate. We talk to the parents. That's one call. How many calls, Miss Parker, was made?
A lot. The school had made over 5 attempts. The school alone, watching the baby's withdrawal from school, her grades failing, the bruises on her arm. It goes deep. I got a couple of more videos to play. Happiness. The stepmother made her hold canned goods and lean against the wall and hold canned goods, and I don't know how much she how extensive the bruises was, but I haven't got into like the court videos yet. But the school seen the chipped tooth, the broken tooth, so many bruises on this baby and cuts, and they reported it, and every time they said there was no findings.
So a lot of times it may come in as an investigation, it may come in as a alternate response case. So depending on the severity of the case that comes in, they may refer it out to alternate response, but they find no findings. It's like a family gathering meeting, or they completed some type of task that the case, like it's different levels. Like CPS don't automatically come out and just take the kid. They give everybody an opportunity to rectify whatever claims, accusations, clear it up. And we go, we go into asking questions about family history, job, military status, civilian status, immigration, all these type of things, food stamps, welfare. We talk about your job history. I mean, everything, like your economical status in America, because sometimes that reflects on where you are, and sometimes you could be the richest person. We've had cases where people are multimillionaires and they get CPS cases. Okay, but back to all these calls being made, it's the different levels. So they came in as an an AR case or the CPS case where we actually take the children. Had they been to court, like they could have had like 5 rounds, and this might have been their last round. You understand what I'm saying?
So the
With the
last
system.
round, ultimately came to young Rica losing her life. That could have been prevented. Because we're
Yeah.
talking, like, I get it, but when the schools are making extent calls, like, and then they said when she came in with those black eyes, like, once she came back to school, now they're like, okay, now, come on now. We done accepted that y'all said the cuts and the bruises and the teeth broken out of her mouth is not extent, but now the baby's coming in with 2 black eyes. She's been sent to school with no winter coat, with the mother coming to the school cussing us out because she didn't want us to put a coat on her. She said, I sent her to school with no coat. That's how I wanted to come home. I mean, how,
So
how,
here's
I mean, like, come on, happiness. Where do we get to where it ain't even, we save the kids no matter the cost? It doesn't have to be any steps to it. Once we see the bruises and they're visible, fuck that. We get
Mhm.
them out of here. Why
And
can't
that's
we?
why I left. But to your point, Miss Parker, so when we go into the homes, one of the things that we do is we take a picture of the refrigerator. Now, everybody may not have food in the refrigerator, right? And so that may be their culture. And so we don't judge them not having food at that time. Everybody may dress their kids and say, wear a coat. But your child may say, you know what, I don't want to wear a coat today to school. I want to dress how I want to dress. We can't judge that either. And so we try to be, they try to be fair. Okay. I'm not vouching for them. I'm not, I quit because it got to a point to where it didn't vouch for what I stand for. I am a service person. I serve the community. I was doing a disservice by interfering with people who had children with autism. Was this child autistic that you're speaking of?
No,
Any mental illness, any type of disabilities?
no.
Okay. So, like, you have to take all these things into account to know whether or not how to judge. And then at the end of the ultimate, at the end of the department goes to the court systems, and the court makes a decision, not me. And usually I'm going against these attorneys, these doctors, and talking to these people. But when it started going against what I viewed, because I've been in the CPS system, you understand, as a child. And so that was my goal in life, to do a service to children in this part. But when it started to be a disservice to me, I left. I had to go. It was weighing on my mental.
So
So
was it kind of like this? I know you can't probably speak on a lot, but was it getting to the point where things was being overlooked, like cases like this are being overlooked, and they want you to, the cases that's less than this, you got to get more brutal? Because I'm seeing,
yes,
I'm witnessing it.
they load you down. So let me say something. State workers, state federal government workers are loaded down. And that's why I say these people are making frivolous calls, and they're watering the system down where you can't get to the nitty gritty. Those that really, like this baby here. You understand what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
So uh when you get to the nitty gritty, the whole ambience of CPS and their work and the people that they serve is to protect children against abuse and neglect.
Mhm.
If there isn't no abuse and neglect going on, the case is moved on. So people calling in neglect on stupid stuff. This baby, somebody missed it
Oh, they missed a
somewhere.
lot. They missed a lot, and I got a little bit more happiness. You want to stay up here with me? You're fine.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. For those that's just coming in, and happiness, I want to touch on this too in a minute after I play the rest of this and get to the next one. Um, the father failed her. The mother tried, judging her off her background of cold checks. And I just want you to hold that for a minute, happiness. When the mother went back to try to get Rica and stuff, because when the mother got to visit the school and stuff, she seen the bruises. She called the authorities. She called CPS herself and was like, hey, can somebody go and check? I think my baby's being abused. And they told her there was nothing they could do. And then she did it again with the CPS. So they finally sent somebody and said again, no findings. Even with Ann in her situation, it was never any findings. So all through the video, it was nothing ever. And then Ann, too, as the mother, failed her. And you're gonna hear that too. So it's like failed system is not just the CPS, it is the people that's around. Do you agree? Happiness, because I feel like where is everybody at when you know why
I
ain't nobody
definitely
around to
agree. I
protect these
definitely agree.
kids?
Most definitely. I grew up in a home, in a foster care home, where I was abused and neglected, and my mother was nowhere to be found here in Texas. I'm in Texas, and I grew up in Virginia. I was in the Virginia foster care system, and my brother lost his whole tongue in a boxing match with one of the sons in the foster care system. We were in the foster care system, and they put my brother, who was 8 years old at the time, in a boxing match with a 14-year-old, their son, and my brother bit his tongue off, and it grew back. But I'm just saying, um CPS did nothing. We stayed with that family. So I understand. I got into the work behind what I've been through. But when I don't stand for something, I couldn't stand for it, Miss Parker. So I left. I left. It caused me anxiety. I couldn't sleep at night. I was having anxiety and panic attacks. You know what I'm saying? I had to go because you're not going to tell me that you're over here trying to serve a population that's really going through the struggle, but you're trying to help them at the same time, and they steady being abused. And then you steady fucking with people that really don't need to be messed with. They're just disciplining their children and having a regular lifestyle, because I've investigated it and I've done the work, the thorough work. So I know this. But the ones that are missed because of all the frivolous things, you calling in just because you don't like your sister, because you don't like your brother, and all this kind of stupid stuff. It's filtering the system. So if we can stop that and get to the nitty gritty of the real meat and potatoes of what's going on. The children that's being trafficked out here, and the children that are being sexually abused and molested and being taken advantage of. You can save a whole lot of children's lives. But unfortunately,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
But unfortunately, the system is not set up like that. They're piled up with so many. When I left them high and dry. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I was telling them I left. I had to go for a walk. I left them. I said, I can't do it. Y'all, this ain't right. Y'all keep piling these. I can't cipher. And then I got to go to court with this one and go over here. This one that one with a gun over here. I come over here. This one over here and shut up the house already. Like, it's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
In the realm of CPS and investigation, especially investigations. And I have my gun in my car, but I don't go out there for a war. I'm not going out there for that. But why are these kids there anyway? If he got a gun here and he just shot up the house, why are you sending me out here and I'm not investigating this anyway? The kids should already be gone. You understand what I'm talking about? So this is where I drew the line, and I chose me first. Now I'm going to do the work on the other scenes, and this is where me and you supposed to connect and do some other things, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
So AC Shakur said, really quick, he said, in the excuses, they overload with more cases and few caseworkers, so they take the most extreme cases to write them off quickly. Do you agree with that? Let me get Happiness back, guys. Let me drop the link. Miss Denise said, I said this. She said this is why I'm fighting against the CPS. The way they did me and my kids. Yes. Happiness dropped down, but while I drop this link, I'm gonna play the rest. Miss Wish, I just checked it. Send me info. Send me the info, please. If you got anything updated for that, send it to me, please, Miss Wish.
Was 23 minutes long. After 3 long months, on Wednesday, April 24th, 2019, 41-year-old Cynthia Marie Baker was arrested, held in McLean County Jail, and indicted on 3 counts of murder, 1 count of aggravated battery of a child, and 1 count of aggravated domestic battery. Her bail was set at $1 million, meaning she would be required to post $100,035 to be released. Cindy would remain in jail, unable to post bond, until her trial several months later. The indictment document alleged that Cindy murdered 8-year-old Rica Rountree by kicking her in the abdomen, which perforated her intestine and resulted in the peritonitis that ultimately killed her. Prosecutors told the public they were in possession of videos found on Cindy's phone of Rica's torture and abuse. Within days, Cindy was hit with 10 additional charges, including 8 counts of domestic battery and 2 counts of endangering the life and health of a child, all of which stemmed from what prosecutors alleged was a history of Cindy's abusive behavior toward Rica. At her arraignment on May 3rd, Cindy pleaded not guilty to all charges. Rica's mom, Anne, later said,
I wonder if Cindy wouldn't have been crazy enough to record herself beating my daughter if she'd ever been arrested.
She also wondered how much Richard knew about the abuse Rica endured.
His only position was to protect his daughter and to keep her safe, house her, feed her, love her. And he didn't do that. And he chose to be with the woman. And from the autopsy, it doesn't show that this happened one time. In the autopsy, it says chronic child abuse.
and had some harsh words for DCFS.
Your only position in this world is to protect our children when the parents can't. That's your position, is to pick up where we fall short and try to keep us together. I'm not sure where they dropped the ball at with giving a care about our kids, but they did.
She said they dropped the ball. And she said when Rica got her autopsy, she said it showed chronic. Can you define chronic abuse? Happiness. You're on mute.
Okay, sorry. So the chronic abuse would means, again, CPS, we protect against abuse and neglect. Chronic abuse means physically beating your child, verbally abusing your child, neglectful supervision, your child getting out, running in the streets, things like that. You're unaware, using drugs in front of your children, having physical altercations in front of your children. Okay, if you're fighting in front of your children, you're gonna get a CPS case. They may remove your children if you do not comply with their they're gonna offer you a safety plan. If you say no, I don't want a safety plan, depending on what the supervisor says, she say, well, you know what, we're gonna get a court order safety plan. You don't want to get the courts involved. If you can, go ahead and do your best as a parent, nurturing and protect your children. If they say take a parenting class, go with your parenting class. Everybody has a mess up. We're not perfect. We may do something out of the moment. If they say you got to go to counseling, or you need to go, go to counseling and get help. It may help you in your personal life. It may not even have nothing to do with your children, but it may make you a better person. Not to say it's going to be the answer. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, because you go get a court order, now you're involved in the courts. Oh, we're going to court and all this kind of thing. Now, if you don't want them in your life, you can say, oh, all day I ain't got to open my door. Well, don't open your door. But guess what? They're coming back. The best thing to do is just go, and it ain't gonna happen right then, but it's gonna happen. The best thing to do, what you want to talk about, what am I accused of? Let's go through the process and get them out of your life. Because CPS ain't gonna be in your life forever. We got 90 days to do our job. And if we can't do our job, it goes to another level. We're gonna contact you and contact you. You can ignore the calls all you want to, dismiss them, because somebody put this allegation. People, if you're making false allegations, don't do it. You're watering down the system. People need help out here. I can't stress that enough. And people use it. Stop doing that.
Mother said, Happiness. She said, somehow they fumbled the ball on her baby's life.
My God, stop doing that. People need help out here. And this lady that lost her baby because they fumbled the ball, because they got some foolishness over here, because you seen somebody on YouTube, or you hate somebody and you want to go call CPS because of you and your feelings. Well, go get help. Go sit at the therapy table. Go sit on somebody's couch, because it ain't got nothing, or cut that person off. You don't have to deal with them. But to put CPS in somebody's life is detrimental to a child's well-being. CPS is to address abuse and neglect. If there is no food, what is your heritage? What is your culture? Where do you come from? They may just eat beans and rice. We do not, just because your child ain't going to school, we're not police. We're not we don't do that truancy thing. We're not involved in truancy. We don't care about your child not going to school. It's abuse and neglect. People drop out of school at 14 years old. We don't care about that. Abuse and neglect. So all these other cases filter in the system. And I'm telling you right now, AI is taking over. They're going back and they regurgitate. And you're going to find somebody at your door. You're going to get arrested for making these false allegations, because there's children being neglected. And they're really being abused. And they're really being drug trafficked. And they're really being sex trafficked. And they're really being, hurt and harmed. And we can't get to them because we got all these fools out here making false allegations. Stop it. If you really see somebody that really need help, like this lady here that lost her baby, And they couldn't get to him in time. And there have been reports that saying, well, maybe it's not a report, and maybe I don't know the details of the case. I didn't read the case. I can't read the case now. I don't work there anymore. But I could read the case. And then it could have been just a sorry ass CPS worker that just dropped the load. Because they are some sorry workers in there too. That don't do their damn job. And I couldn't stand for that. I just don't stand for that. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, Top Flight just said that someone called because she got an altercation with him and her baby was only 11 days old, doing what you're saying, misleading, just being malicious and calling them for, reasons that, just all these kids suffering. But I'm gonna get back to this video, Miss Happiness, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Dragging her through the house, smashing her face into the wall, the torture that she went through is all the stuff that I told them that she was going through, and nobody would listen to me. Everybody failed her. I failed her.
She added, "I'm just so hurt that she's not here. She didn't even have a chance. That's hard to swallow. I can't believe they treated her like that. She was life. I promise you, she was life." Now, I'll pause for a quick word from the sponsor of this episode. If you're like me, you're a bit... This podcast contains descriptions of violence against children and adult language and is not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Suffer the Little Children, the true crime podcast giving voices back to the victims of child abuse and shining a harsh spotlight on the parents, guardians, and caretakers who silence them. I'm your host, Lane, and this is episode 74, Rica Rountree, part 2. Last week, I told you the first part of the story of 8-year-old Rica Rountree, who DCFS left in her father's home despite clear evidence that she was being abused. After Rica died on January 26, 2019, investigators found disturbing cell phone videos of Rica's abuse and arrested her father's girlfriend, Cindy Baker. In this episode, I'll go over the rest of Rica's story, including Cindy's trial and subsequent developments. This is the story of a sweet, kind little girl who could make anyone smile and who loved her dolls like they were her own babies.
Y'all make sure y'all share the live. Please hit that like button for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I just wanted to pause and say that Happiness. Thank you so much for being up here with me. But we're gonna listen to part 2. And again, let's think about what we're doing out here, y'all, when we making these false allegations and stuff like that. Because like AC and Happiness said, those the pettiness is getting pushed to the back while these are getting written off. The lives that's lost, Naziah Harris, Young Rica, Ayanna Sawyer, and it's so many more. Gabriel Hernandez up in California. I did one about him like a year ago, and his story broke my heart. And it got swept under the rug. That's one of the saddest. I thought Rica's was bad, and it is, but nothing compared to Gabriel Hernandez having to eat vomit. His real mother, spoiling food, feeding it to him in a dog cage. He slept in an entertainment stand, locked up, shooting his penis with BB guns, burning the tip of his penis with cigarettes. So while we're doing all these false allegations, we're unaliving those babies. We unalived Gabriel Hernandez. We unalived Rica Rountree. We are unaliving the Nazaria Harrises out there. Okay? So just food for a thought when we're just being petty and life just ain't life for us and we're so damn miserable, but that we ain't got nothing else to do but make somebody else suffer because we're not happy. It's called a failed system. We're part of that failed system when we do that.
It's also the story of the failure of Illinois' Department of Children and Family Services to protect yet another vulnerable child from targeted and obvious child abuse. In next week's episode, you'll hear my conversation with Rica's mother, Anne Rountree, who is relentless in her mission to protect other children from suffering her daughter's fate. This is part 2 of the horrific story of Rica Rountree. 2 things before I pick up where I left off in last week's episode. First, I'd like to thank my newest patrons, Carrie from Conroe, Texas, Megan from Round Lake, Illinois, Christina from Statesville, North Carolina, and Suzanne F. from Bikini Bottom. Thank you for your monthly pledges and for your help getting me closer to my goal of devoting myself full-time to the blog and the podcast, even after my savings account runs out. I appreciate all of you. Secondly, there are a few things I'd like to clear up from last week's episode, and I'd like to thank Rica's mom, Anne, for helping me set things straight. The first call placed to DCFS about Rica's family was in 2014, when Anne's son was seen outside holding cans, which you'll recognize as a punishment Rica later faced in her father's house. Anne said that was Richard's way to punish the children. The last DCFS visit to Anne's home took place in 2016.
So not only she had to clear it up based off the mother's allegations, so Anne's boyfriend as well made her son hold cans with his arms out. And y'all know how heavy canned goods are, but we're talking about young kids holding their arms out as punishment for God knows how long.
16, after her son attempted to take his own life. Anne believes Cindy Baker placed both calls. While Anne and Richard broke up for good in September of 2015, Anne later found out that Richard was actually with Cindy throughout the entirety of his 8-year relationship with Anne. I mentioned last week that Anne began using drugs by the end of 2015, but that wasn't quite accurate. At the time of her arrest in September of 2016, she was selling drugs but not using them. At that time, she had lost a very good job with a financial institution, and she only wanted to continue providing her children with the same lifestyle they had. Once Anne and her then boyfriend, Deontay, were arrested, she asked Richard to take Rica and her older brother, Charles, because Richard was the only father Charles knew. In fact, Richard was in the process of adopting Charles as his own son when he and Anne broke up, so the adoption was not completed. By the time of Anne's arrest, he was living with Cindy, who didn't want to take in Anne's son, so Charles was sent to stay with his uncle in Minnesota. Anne only began using drugs after she was released from her 68 days in jail for the drug dealing charges and was unable to regain custody of Rica, triggering her downward spiral. Fortunately, she is clean now. With those corrections made, I'll pick up where I left off, which was on Friday, November 15th, 2019, the third day of testimony in Cindy Baker's trial. Jurors passed a box of tissues around as at least 2 of them became emotional and cried while watching the 3 videos of Rica's torture. The videos were the prosecution's final evidence in the case, and they certainly left their mark. A video from May 6, 2018 showed Rica standing behind a recliner while Cindy ordered her to go into Cindy's room, and Cindy shouted expletives at her, threatening to call her father. An August 26, 2018 video showed Cindy dragging Rica into the bedroom by her neck. The 8-year-old was made to strip naked, and then, wet and shivering, she was forced to hold cans of food with arms outstretched while Cindy delivered multiple aggressive slaps to Rica's naked body. At one point, Cindy asked her, "Cold, aren't you?" "Good." When Rica's arms sagged, Cindy hit Rica in the face and yelled, "Do I need to put a collar on you?" She then wrapped her hands around Rica's neck. When Rica cried out, "No," Cindy forcefully put her arms back in position and forced her to continue holding the cans. Text messages showed the video was shared with Richard. A video from September 26, 2018, part of which I unfortunately watched, shows Rica again holding cans facing the wall. Cindy is seen kneeing Rica in the back several times, causing the little girl to scream in pain, before Cindy eventually bangs Rica's head against the wall with a solid thud.
So, oh, happiness. This baby was forced to get wet, stand with her arms out, holding canned goods at 8 years old, needing her back. This is getting videoed. This isn't he say, she say. This isn't allegedly. She need her in her back. Kept kneeing her in her back. 8 years old. Banging her head into the wall. Sending the video to her father. She said emotionally maturity is something we all have to practice. It's hard, I know. Mine grown to top flight, but I will still go to war for them. This is her father getting a video of not his daughter doing art, not a cute picture of daddy and me, not her riding a bike for the first time. But this is her baby, his baby being brutally beaten by this monster that he lives with, that he said he loves. He loves her more than he loves his child. We have lost. I mean, the more, like I said, the more we get to these kind of cases, and we got so much hate. We bring these kids into the world and we just abuse them. We lose them without a care in the world. We have people doing what Happiness said and what Top Flight said. She fought a girl and the girl consistently called CPS. Played with the system. Played with our already failed system to hurt our babies more, to eventually be a Rica Rountree, a Naziah Harris. Take something from this. And we have a lady up here by the name of Happiness that had to endure this in her life. And then that's what bound her to do the work to where the system is so failed, she couldn't handle it anymore because of the passion. We don't have enough people in this failed system with passion. We don't have enough human beings walking around us or just being on a red app with us with passion. Heart just so full of hate. Mad because nobody's waking up telling you how beautiful you are. Tell yourself that I love me. Today, I love me. I don't need nobody in the audience to say how beautiful I am. I told myself. I pray to God. I've been praying so hard lately for my purpose, for God to show me my worth, and just fill my heart with love, no hate. Even when people try to push me to that limit. But no, everybody ain't the same, and I get that. But we are losing, not the kids, they're losing their lives, y'all. Because y'all angry. Because y'all miserable. We can't save the kids. We can't save these kids. And we got people that'll put a battery in our back to do it. Hey, Stormy. That's right, I love me. Hey, F you. I'm not, AC, I'm not. But it's sad. This is the baby crying, y'all. Let me rewind it back just a taste. When y'all hear this baby cry after today, and y'all still sitting in a group amongst people that are so miserable that they want to abuse the system, to put a baby and a child in a potential situation like Naziah Harris or Rica Rountree. Hey, I'm cool. Again, I don't need no weeds in my garden. I only want to plant meaningful seeds. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm good. Because these babies ain't even here no more. These babies ain't even here no, they can't tell us their story. It ain't even a why did y'all do it. It is, man, give up the kids. See, when I lost my children to the system, I didn't lose them. I gave my kids up because I said I chose this. I chose this lane. They didn't ask for me to be on drugs. They didn't ask to be left hungry. I ain't got money to buy clothes. So I put my kids in that position to where they could get what they needed and what they deserved. Before anybody could put my kids in a position like poor Rica, poor Naziah Harris. It's okay to say, I can't do it. It's okay to not be okay with where life got you at today. It's okay. But everybody wants to pretend. Nobody's real around this motherfucker no more. Everybody want to act like their life is all grand. And as soon as you shut this motherfucker off, you in an empty room. I don't care if it's furniture in there. I've been in a house full of furniture, pictures, and been empty as hell. It's dark. But y'all not going to be honest. Everybody can't be real and honest and just say, I'm not okay today. Okay? Jeez. Let me take this video back some so y'all can hear young Rica. Share this live so somebody else can hear this baby crying at the hands of her father. See, just cause we had a kid don't make us a parent. Okay? We have to remember that. Just cause you had a baby doesn't make you a parent. It's a difference between a daddy and a father, a mom and a mother. At one point, I was a mom. I just somebody that had kids. But it took me to go through trials and tribulations to understand, damn, I'm not a mother. I want to be a mother to mine. And that was okay. I know that's right, happiness.
In 2015, but that wasn't quite accurate. At the time of her arrest in September of 2016, she was selling drugs but not using them. At that time, she had lost a very good job with a financial institution, and she only wanted to continue providing her children with the same lifestyle they had. Once Anne and her then-boyfriend, Deontay, were arrested, she asked Richard to take Rica and her older brother, Charles, because Richard was the only father Charles knew. In fact, Richard was in the process of adopting Charles as his own son when he and Anne broke up, so the adoption was not completed. By the time of Anne's arrest, he was living with Cindy, who didn't want to take in Anne's son, so Charles was sent to stay with his uncle in Minnesota. Anne only began using drugs after she was released from her 68 days in jail for the drug dealing charges and was unable to regain custody of Rica, triggering her downward spiral. Fortunately, she is clean now. With those corrections made, I'll pick up where I left off, which was on Friday, November 15th, 2019, the third day of testimony in Cindy Baker's trial. Jurors passed a box of tissues around as at least two of them became emotional and cried while watching the 3 videos of Rica's torture. The videos were the prosecution's final evidence in the case, and they certainly left their mark. A video from May 6, 2018 showed Rica standing behind a recliner while Cindy ordered her to go into Cindy's room, and Cindy shouted expletives at her, threatening to call her father. An August 26, 2018 video showed Cindy dragging Rica into the bedroom by her neck. The 8-year-old was made to strip naked, and then, wet and shivering, she was forced to hold cans of food with arms outstretched while Cindy delivered multiple aggressive slaps to Rica's naked body. At one point, Cindy asked her, "Cold, aren't you?" "Good." When Rica's arms sagged, Cindy hit Rica in the face and yelled,
Do I need to put a collar on you?
She then wrapped her hands around Rica's neck. When Rica cried out, "No," Cindy forcefully put her arms back in position and forced her to continue holding the cans. Text messages showed the video was shared with Richard. A video from September 26, 2018, part of which I unfortunately watched, shows Rica again holding cans facing the wall. Cindy is seen kneeing Rica in the back several times, causing the little girl to scream in pain, before Cindy eventually bangs Rica's head against the wall with a solid thud. In that video, Cindy's older daughters, Cindy herself, and even Richard repeatedly enter and exit the frame. While music plays in the background, other family members just appear to go on about their lives. Cindy's teenage daughter repositions the camera at one point. The teenager also taunts Rica. The girl repeated.
Man, if y'all don't wake up, I get it. Man, I get it. And happiness, man, happiness Cameron Prince said the right thing in this sector of mine, y'all. Girl, y'all, it's taking me everything not to cry. Y'all know I be crying, but this, and this, I'm hearing it for the first time with y'all. Like, it's a lot of demonic spirits out there. And I told y'all again, it's a lot of miserable people, sad people. And when I see people run around this app all day long, gossiping, disturbed, their energy's just like, I can't even take it no more. I turn it. Or I'm in and out. See, we can't say we don't like it, but we tuned in to see what happened. Because right now, I don't know what the hell's going on in my sector. I know it's demonic. I know it's a lot of CPS. See, don't like me. I don't care. Bitch, I can handle it. But see, I know your spirit's low when you go and take it to my babies. See, our kids are innocent. Our kids ain't on here scratching. I don't show my kids' faces. When my kids come up on in my chat or Shankrock's chat, they coming to salute us. They say, we like the demonstration. I don't even talk about my YouTube channel and stuff like that to them. About when I'm scratching a bitch down and with their truth. I don't even like that. Because I can't teach what I ain't preaching, okay? I'm scratching bitches down, but I want my kids to be the best that they can be. It doesn't make sense. It don't add up. Tasha, get your shit together. Get your shit together. I actually even had a live set up that I ain't even gonna do. Because it say, you can't argue with stupid. I had somebody stupid in my phone. Stupid text me and said, leave me alone. Stupid, you're texting me. And then I caught myself going back and forth for a second. And I said, leave me alone. You're weird. Stupid told me that I was a hippo, that how educated she was, how I love YouTube. No, I love YouTube because I do content. I talk about stuff that matters, stupid. I try to talk about stuff to save somebody else, another Rica Rountree, another Naziah Harris, Ayanna Taylor Sawyer, and another Shanquilla Robinson. See if somebody's still going through this right now with a failed system. Stupid. But I had to say, God, oh, you know, when you can't see me, you don't see them physically, and you can't, let me put it into some content. That's what I do with stupid people. I use it as content. We got one life to live, and my one life ain't going to be going back and forth with stupid. It's going to save a life. Whether somebody that ain't in this chat hear me say what I went through and to say it's okay to my brothers and sisters to say we're not okay. We don't have to pretend. Hell, where we shop, long as we got clothes on our back, long as we got food in our refrigerator, like she said, even if it's beans and rice, if that's what you got, damn it, you got something. And you got air in your lungs, that's all I need today. Stupid. See, this hippo and this uneducated with your masters, I ain't need a master's to get through life. I needed God. I needed one person, and that's that man upstairs. This gave me more than 9 lives to get my shit together and say, if you don't get to this purpose that I brought you on this earth for, then that's when I'll handle you. And I woke up with a purpose. I woke up with a purpose. And it wasn't to argue and go back and forth with stupid. Stupid even told me, oh, if you say something about me, you're gonna be the one look silly. No, baby. Cause see, that's the devil. When you be so happy and you start just focusing on the only thing you got, and that's air in your lungs, and that's the one life you got to live. And you don't know in the next second, like Ocean Rule. If y'all remember back then, Ocean Rule, heavy set content creator, used to come on live and lay in his bed. And Ocean Rule finally got up out that bed and found them a woman. And on the day Ocean got married, he walked his wife for the first time being married, to that dance floor. And he died right there. If you don't know nothing about Ocean, Google it. Ask somebody in the Mo3 sector about Ocean. It's a second. We live by the second, not the day. I'm not into tomorrow. I'm not in yesterday. I'm into today, Miss Carter. Stupid. So I never look bad to you. See, I only look bad to you because you're competing with education. You're competing for somebody. When I'm just trying to plant meaningful seeds, not weeds. See, I don't want to put a battery in that person's back. I just say, hey, respect me, move on. But the name calling, see, that right there, that's where we go wrong. That when you get to the name calling, because it was my cancer, y'all, how bad I was a few years ago. Because see, somewhere along, you're lost. You're sad. You're miserable. And today, I said, God, even though I set it up and I kept moving the time, I ain't going to do it. Because God had a purpose for me to wake up and do these cases for Rica. Keep her name alive. Justice for Rica Rountree. Justice for Naziah Harris. Justice for Ayanna Sawyer. Justice for those that happiness protected in her line of work. Trying to save the kids from these demons like you, stupid. So I never look bad, only to you. And only for those who's just miserable and just wake up. I can't not like none of y'all for real. I don't know y'all in real life. I don't have to like your ways. Like I don't like Donald Trump's ways. Do that mean I hate it? Oh. But see, I noticed that when you just wake up and dislike a person, you got to check yourself. It's some shit going on. I've had to do it many a times with so many people that I don't know. Going along to get along. Sitting amongst the demonic people that ain't got shit going on but to get in somebody's life and call CPS. Call their job. Fuck with their channels. I'm not that miserable. I'm not there. Bitch, you should have called me a few years ago when I was strung the fuck out, stupid. But see, I'm doing something powerful over here. And when God starts to move for you, the devil gets to being exposed. You don't like it sometimes. God damn, I ain't know it was like that. But it be like that. Go save a life. And that's it. All of us. Save a life. Do something different. Make your community proud. Go feed the people. Hell, it's a homeless shelter every Saturday that has a soup kitchen. Go do something, stupid.
Miss Parker, can I say,
Go ahead, happiness. My bad. Girl, give me God got me up here just going through it. Go ahead, happiness, girl. Do your thing.
so in my previous lives before I became in this government sector world, and educated person, but I'm a hairstylist. I'm also a hairstylist. I've done hair over 20 years. And most of my ministry comes behind a chair. And a lot of times when you are ministering to people, you see the need on site, you know. Um, right, Jamie. Education doesn't make you intelligent, but the experiences does. And you're absolutely right. But education also enlightens you to a lot of things you're not privy to. Um, and it just opens your mind. Education is for knowing that you're going to complete the cause, going to complete the assignment. So everybody ain't educational. But back to my point, being in a salon and working behind a chair and ministering to people that I served, it's important to talk to those people and ask questions and listen to them, because a lot of people are going through things. They talk to you, and that's your ministry. I had a young lady who came to me. She was a daughter, and she was a daughter. She was the eighth person in her family of siblings, and all her siblings were brothers. And she was the girl, the daughter. And she came to me and she told me, she said, my mother left me and she abandoned me, and now I'm here with my brother. She said, I don't know what it means to have periods, and so here I am. She said, I'm failing my math classes. So I got her a math tutor, and then I took her out to a shopping spree at Kohl's and got her all the undergarments and panties and bras. And she's like, you're doing this for me. And I said, I'm doing this for you because I want you to know that someone cares. And I want you to come here every week to the salon and sit in my chair. And I want to be able to minister to you. And I want to be able to talk to you. And I want to be able to be that person, even though your mother's not around, to help you. And call me. I gave her my number. And we went to Kohl's, and I don't know if y'all know familiar about Kohl's, but Kohl's is like a JC Penney's or Montgomery Ward's or whatever y'all familiar with. And I took her shopping that day, and her heart was so filled with joy because no one has ever done that for her. But if you can reach out to you in your community, to any one woman, you'll find a case, or you'll find someone that you can help. And I don't care if it's $1 or $2 or a meal or whatever it is, a word of encouragement. But I encourage everybody to do. See, this is the type of work that I do. And so me being the DCFS and me trying to help these people, and they trying to, what I'm talking about. So that wasn't my line of work. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So to the woman who's out there, and you're saying that you went through a lot, and you're saying that, no one's come through for you. You come through for somebody else. You show up for somebody else. And so this young lady, I got her tutoring, math tutoring, where she was able to graduate high school. I got her parent. I started getting her personable. So I didn't go through the systems of this, and I didn't write it off. I didn't report it to the IRS tax. It wasn't under $10,000, so I need to report it. I didn't do this for her. I did it. I didn't do it for me. I didn't do it for public publicity, and it's in my books. But I did it for the strength of the community, the strength of people. Let's start there. The people. I ain't even talking about race at this point, because I've helped all races. You understand what I'm talking about? So when you're doing the work, make sure you're tapping into it. You're trying to help someone who's not only trying to help themselves, but if they can't help themselves, give them something to be able to help themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like give them something to want to
Better themselves.
better. Exactly, Miss Parker.
Yeah. Now you said it right. Hold on, happiness, real quick. Let me read Miss Marie. She asked me to read her comments.
Okay.
It hurts when someone is upset with that person and they call CPS and they call just because, or when someone calls and say a child has been hurt when CPS comes. It's nothing. You were saying, what is it going to take to make real change? I often ask myself, and you just explained that. I loved it. It takes people like us to keep fighting for our children. AC said 2016 and selling drugs, but I had a good financial job. She had lost it over drugs. Yeah. Um, Marie, it creates a record in government. A record counts unless it's ruled out. um, Marie said, or when something is really happening to child, CPS is called and nothing happens when they ask for help. Exactly, Shan said, yes, it's a lot, shaking my head. But I'm gonna get back down to the other comments, y'all. Sorry I'm so delayed and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, happiness, and you absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? And God bless you. And that's for real. It's coming from a real place for doing that. Cause when something's put on your heart, it's just put on your heart. You know what I'm saying? And so many times does life hit us with unexpectancies and it'll throw us off from our purpose. And your passion up here, your energy, your spirit, I can tell
Hmm.
you give it when you do something, you give it your all. And
Hmm.
flowers to you for that, for real, sister. Flowers to you for that. Real quick, I wanna kind of get back into this. I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna let y'all ask some questions from the chat because we do got happiness up here who just recently left from doing CPS work in November of last year. So I know it's a lot of times we've been through stuff in life. We be ashamed, we be embarrassed, but if y'all in a position like this and y'all got questions or y'all got a friend who's in a position like this, ask questions. We'll never know if we don't ask. And stuff. But we're gonna get back to this now, where this is this is Cindy's daughter taunting Rica, asking, "Is the cans heavy yet?" Taunting this poor baby. So she didn't just get abused from her father, the stepmother, but this is the kids, her step siblings. Now is taunting her, so she got abused everywhere mentally. Y'all, physical abuse hurts, but that mental, ooh, y'all, it hit different. It hit different. And to feel like when you a child, just think as we older and everybody be saying, "Oh, I suffer from mental health," and "Oh yeah, I suffer from anxiety, I suffer from depression," and this is a baby, this is an innocent baby that has shut the world down, and all she see is darkness. The teacher asked her, "What do you see, Rica?" And she told the teacher, "Nothing. It's dark. Everything's dark." Coming from an 8-year old, it should be life should be nothing but colors. Ambition to be a doctor, a police officer, a firefighter, a drive at 8 years old. Do you want to be a model? Something. We had boy, we had so much at 8. If you can go back to your memory, you wanted to be something. You seen just color.
Repeatedly repositions Rika's arms when they sag. She even does a weird dance, swaying her hips while repositioning Rika's arms. The callousness displayed by the entire family is beyond chilling. I want to stop here for a minute and really imagine what Rika must have endured during these torturous months in her father's house. While the mommy who loved her was nearby but just out of reach, the one man on earth Rika should be able to trust implicitly to protect her, to keep her safe, instead allowed this hateful woman to inflict unimaginable physical and emotional pain on her. while he stood by and watched and even participated himself, while other children in the home were not only treated light years better than Rica, but also witnessed and even participated in her abuse. Can you imagine how alone this little girl felt? Can you put yourself in her shoes and imagine what it was like to stand facing the wall, arms outstretched, holding cans of food that felt like boulders in your little hands, maybe even standing there naked, wet, and cold, while other members of your family nonchalantly went about their day, or worse yet, hit you with their hands, kneed you in the back, slammed your head into the wall, berated you, screamed at you, and reinforced your belief that you were all alone in the world with no one to save you? Can you picture how much it hurt to be kicked in the stomach repeatedly by your real-life wicked stepmother? To feel something inside you tear? To know something awful was happening to you as you grew sicker and sicker over a matter of days? But you couldn't say anything because no one would listen to you. I know that was a dark tangent, but Rica went through that. That was her reality. That's how she spent the last months, days, and hours of her life. On that grim note, the prosecution rested its case at the end of the day, and the court recessed for the weekend. Richard Rountree, Cindy Baker, and Ann Simmons were all listed as defense witnesses, scheduled to testify on Monday, November 18, 2019. However, Richard spent the morning being interrogated after it was revealed that Cindy gave him a letter during a weekend visit, asking him to lie and take the blame for everything during his testimony. Prosecutor Mary Cole told the judge about the letter, and because of its disclosure, the defense chose not to have Cindy or Richard testify. That was probably prudent because the prosecutor said that if they had, of course, they would have been questioned about the letter. Anne was also not called to testify. The trial was delayed by about an hour that morning while the court waited for a late juror to arrive, but by 10 a.m., the woman was replaced by an alternate, leaving a jury comprised of 8 women and 4 men. During the single day it took to present its case, the defense called 3 witnesses, all of whom were staff from 2 of the 3 schools Rica attended during her short life. She was only enrolled as a 3rd grader at Prairie Land Elementary School for 12 days before she died. Rica's 2nd grade teacher, Matthew Sharp, Sheridan Elementary School nurse, Holly Biolato, and Prairie Land Elementary School teacher's assistant, Angela Brown, recalled no concerns about Rica's health. Mr. Sharp testified to some of the injuries Rica came to school with, such as her swollen lip in April of 2018. Both the teacher and the school nurse testified that during her 2nd grade year, Rica went to the nurse's office about 23 times, which was considered more frequent than normal. Teacher's assistant Ms. Brown said she often worked as a breakfast monitor at Prairie Land, where she greeted students and interacted with Rica for the 12 days she attended the school. She said Rica was quiet. She wouldn't speak unless spoken to. Ms. Brown described Rica as often looking tired, with her hair unkempt, while Cindy's then 6-year-old daughter, who attended kindergarten at the time, looked neat and well-rested. Rica wore clothes that were inferior to the younger girls. Ms. Brown testified that she didn't notice anything out of the ordinary when Rica came to school on January 24th, which was the day before she was rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery. During closing arguments the same day, co-prosecutor and McLean County Assistant State's Attorney Erica Reynolds said, "For most, it's unthinkable, but for Rica, it was normal." In the 407 Stanhope residence, Rica was treated as less than, as this defendant's punching bag, and endured isolation, terror, and unimaginable pain, and her pain served as entertainment for the entire family. Rica, the prosecutor said, was battered and abused in front of every kid in this house. They treat Rica like a plant. Maybe not, because you water a plant at home. Dr. Denton opined in his medical opinion that a child who has been systematically physically abused develops the ability to cope with even the most serious pain. Although Ms. Reynolds did not believe Cindy intended to kill Rica, she said, "Intent has no place in your deliberation." For a first-degree murder charge, the state had to prove she knew that her acts created a strong probability of death or great bodily harm. What did she think was going to happen when she kicked her? Rica's life didn't matter to this defendant, but it matters in this courtroom. Rica matters here. In his closing argument, defense attorney Todd Ringel said of his client,
"Those videos do not show aggravated battery. They do not show murder. They again show an offense that she's appropriately charged with."
He said the videos were all from the family's Bloomington home and didn't include any images after the family's moved to normal in December of 2018. Ringel added that if Rica was so badly injured, she wouldn't be able to go to school or participate in gym, both of which she did in the days before her death. He explained that Cindy didn't testify because, "You've heard Cindy in all these videos. Her word isn't going to change." He added, "Cindy has lied about using a belt and lied about kneeing her. But you decide whether the kick actually happened. Nobody knows when the kick actually happened." After closing arguments concluded, the case was handed to the jury for deliberations for about 2.5 hours that evening before going home for the night. The following morning, deliberations resumed for another 2.5 hours, after which the jury returned with a verdict. On all 6 counts, first-degree murder, aggravated battery, endangering the life of a child, and 3 counts of domestic battery, Cynthia Marie Baker was found guilty.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Cynthia Baker, guilty of the offense of first-degree murder. It is signed by the foreperson and other 11 jurors. Next verdict provides we, the jury, find the defendant, Cynthia Baker, guilty of the offense of aggravated battery to a child. Next verdict provides we, the jury, find the defendant, Cynthia Baker, guilty of the offense of endangering the life or health of a child. Next verdict provides we, the jury, find the defendant, Cynthia Baker, guilty of the offense of domestic battery.
The murder and aggravated battery charges were accompanied by exceptionally brutal or heinous behavior indicative of wanton cruelty, which meant those charges carried the possibility of life in prison. As the verdicts were read, Cindy finally showed some emotion in the form of self-pity, lowering her head and crying. Cindy's bond was revoked, and she was remanded back to the McLean County Jail to await sentencing, which Judge Costigan scheduled for February of 2020. The day after Cindy's conviction, on November 20th, 2019, a news conference was held at the Normal City Council chamber at Uptown Station. McLean County State's Attorney Don Knapp said,
"I want to first say the State Attorney's Office and the Normal Police Department believe this matter is an ongoing criminal investigation, that there may be others criminally culpable."
He would not answer questions about whether Richard Rountree would face charges. Normal Police Chief Rick Bleichner said,
"Today I've had a lot of mixed emotions. While I'm extremely proud of the work that was done by our team and the partnerships that assisted in this investigation, I'm also sad because we got lack of balls. And I'm angry. I'm angry because if you're looking at the facts of this case, it was so senseless, so unnecessary, so preventable. My hope moving forward is that from tragedy can come some opportunity. An opportunity to raise awareness, to educate, and as a community to stand up for abuse in all its forms. I think it's worth repeating that this isn't the finish line. State Attorney Knapp, his prosecutors, our detectives, and I believe that there's more work to be done in this case.
Assistance.
Educate. I like how he said, with this case, looking into this case, and he said, I'm so upset because this could have been prevented. But this opened our eyes to where we know we need to be educated. We need to bring awareness to these cases. Because he said it was a life lost, and that is Rica Rountree. Her life is gone. Based off of somebody's demonic behavior, demonic spirit. And another thing to these parents, be mindful of who you bring around your kids. He can love you, but you got to love. My kids are a part of me. My kids are included in the package. It's not no them. They are me. Anything I have for me, they are me. So it's not possible for you to even think it could be a us without us. Because we're a whole. There's no, it's not a pie or anything. And educate. Educate. And that means even talk to your children. Because see, now we don't talk to our kids. We don't talk to our kids. Get into your kid's mind in a respectable way. Because, see, we can be parents, but we have to respect our kids just like they respect us. Just because we had them doesn't mean our children don't deserve our respect. That's how you get your kids to start trusting you and talk to you. When I talk to my grandbaby and I go home, I ask her, is she happy at school? What's going on? What's she learning? Why you not happy, Nay? What happened? Talk to Granny. It's okay. You won't write our feelings on paper? Tell me, how did you get here, Nay? What happened? We have to be available for conversation to educate our children. But these cases should educate us as parents, okay? To what Happiness said, stop the CPS calls unless we know something's really going on. Because, see, when we make those unnecessary CPS calls, when they end up like Rica, that blood is on your hand too. When them kids are getting abused mentally, physically, emotionally, that is on you too. See, you don't care because you're going through some kind of abuse anyway to do something like that. Somebody has made you feel less than. Somebody is fucking your mind up mentally, or they're doing something physically, and you want to endure what you're going through on somebody's innocent child.
And to your point,
when you entertain it, same thing. Go ahead, Happiness.
I was just saying to your point, like, my kids accuse me of being overly protective, but being what and knowing what I've been through, being in CPS custody and things like that, it made me overly protective. So I'm asking him, who was that? What was doing? No, you can't spend the night with your friends. They can come over here, but you can't go over there. You can go to their birthday party, but you ain't spending no night. Who's over, you can't go nobody but your grandma's house. Like, I was real questionary involved in their lives. And now I think I asked them, I have 3 sons. And so I asked them, they all grown, and so they say, well, I said, well, what could I have changed? They say, Mom, you were overly protective.
Yeah.
And so I sit down and I talk to them when we get to the holidays and things like that. And we talk and I tell them, I say, I tell them my story, and they refuse to read my books, but I tell them my story and they know it's in bits. And then my brother, because it was me and my brother that went through this process. And so they, you know, they listened to that part, but I was overprotective. And so now I kind of laxed out and I just let them talk to me when they want to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to listen to our children and not place them on someone else's responsibility, and us being accountable for our children's and their well-being, their mental well-being. And that's to your point, Miss Parker.
Man, Happiness. I appreciate you. Like I said, your energy and your spirit up here kind of changed. Cause, girl, I just everything you said is so important and vital, especially in this day's time. With, like I said, I'm gonna touch on the Naziah Harris case because I just want to hear some of y'all thoughts on what's been happening, the latest things. I have a friend coming through named Miss Denise, and she's gonna talk a little bit about things that's going on. And we know that with her, it was a failed system. And again, we can't just say the CPS. We got to say the family and everything. Everybody that's around is just as guilty as the CPS, and that's and we're failing. We're failing. We're adding on to a system that's already not put in place to, well, don't got the proper. I'm not gonna say that because that was the purpose of the CPS, was to protect our children, just like it is for the police officers that's unaliving George Floyd, Trayvon Martin's, like Breonna Taylor, and we thought these people was here to protect us, but somewhere along the lines, we're adding to the already failed system. So eventually it's going to crash and we're going to keep having the Zayas, Ricas. And I want it to be educational because it can happen to any one of us at any second. Most of us got grandkids. I do. I I don't I don't want nobody on here telling my granddaughter's story down the line. I don't want nobody telling y'all child's story down the line. Due to us being so uneducated, miserable, just all over the place. So, Happiness, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it. I see what you said. She said, I'm nervous, but pray for my sons daily. Happiness, you can come back up if you have any finishing words. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to share the rest of these lives out because it's one more part to young Rica's story. Yeah, Jamie, overprotected is crazy, but it's how you got to be nowadays. Happiness, I really appreciate you today. This was very informative and coming from somebody that works in the CPS system and things like that. And Happiness, if you could say it from the chat, what can we do to get better besides not calling? Hey David, not calling the CPS. What else can we do in our communities to bring awareness to these situations and to see what we can do to get it better? Because Miss Denise said, I'm working on this now because of she dealt with a case like this in Texas. She was just talking about that the other day on my live. So she, and you've been affected, Happiness, by the same thing. Love you too, Jamie. She said, Miss Marie said, Happiness, can you ask her if someone who were hurt in a care of someone but can't speak, they only could scream or yell or just be angry, what can she do? She said she's coming back. Y'all hit that like button. Please share this live out. And y'all, let's pray and let's start working in our communities to make it better to make the system better so we won't have a failed system. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a part of it. Community to make it better to make the system better so we won't have a failed system. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a part of it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, she said, Miss Parker, can you please ask her if someone who was hurt in a care of someone but can't speak, that can only scream or yell or just be angry? I guess she's asking you, what do you do if they don't know how to use their words?
I would ask you, are you safe?
Mm-hmm.
Ask you, who is your best friend that you could, number one, are you safe? Are you in fear of any physical harm? Can you maneuver daily? The next thing I would ask, can I go to therapy? Ask the people you involved with, can you go to therapy? And that's where you would ask to be removed, because that's an outsource. It's not somebody really involved in the system. That's an outsource. So ask, can I be removed? If you're in a foster care system, in your personal home, can I be removed? They're mandated reporters, and we all governed by the governor, by the governed law of this land. Okay, we're like robots, but the community makes things better. So do you have a best friend? Do you have a best friend's mom? Do you have someone that you can talk to? And if you don't want to be reported, can she help? So she can't help you, and she can't do nothing but report you, and you don't want to be involved in the government system, because that's how I was saved ultimately. I was guilty to CPS many moons ago. And then once the CPS system failed me, I went on to my aunties and, people that the community that helped. And then I went on to my own intuition. And that's when I went on and got into degrees and education and getting more involved in my, community and things that's going on and helping others. So if you cannot voice out, I'm going to repeat, you cannot help yourself. You don't trust those around you. Do you have a best friend? Not to report to anyone, but can put you in a safe spot. How old are you? Do you work a job where you can support yourself? Because CPS does not cover truancy. So you don't have to go to school. I mean, they're not covering that. Abuse and neglect is what CPS covers. And so if you can find someone that you can trust, not a predator, someone's going to violate you, someone that you can trust, a best friend, a sister, brother, grown adults, auntie, uncle. Let's start there.
She said, or come to school hungry but can't speak because he or she is scared.
Are you being trafficked? Trafficking? What's going on here? Now, see that. Now that gets deeper because you're now being. It sounds like to me you're being trafficked. Is just some trafficking going on. Trafficking going on, and for being trafficking, I mean, it was that's deep. So what's going on with you that you come onto this platform and you're voicing this, and I want you to trust the process because I do have a page and I have my books on there and I'm a public figure, but you don't need to be displaying this. You need to find someone that you trust.
Hold on,
And
because I want you to drop your link. Hold on. Because if anybody has anything else, like she's up here now, but if y'all have anything and y'all want to personally talk to her, I'm going to drop her link. I'm going to give you a mod stick so you can drop your link if y'all my happiness. So, everybody don't trust everybody. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. To come and say stuff in front of certain people. You know on this app what it gives. You get what I'm saying? And it might be something
better
to
yet,
where
contact me. Call me. You know what? Hello. Call me. Call me. Call me. Email me.
you got a mod stick
Email
to
me.
put your email down there, happiness, and to please drop your link. And go and promote your
Email
books
me.
while you up here, happiness, real quick, please.
I'm going to go out and come back in, but okay. We can do that.
Okay. You don't know how to hit the comments while you're on the panel, happiness.
Okay. Comment. I got you. Yeah. Yep. I just wanted to get to the
Let me drop it. Let me drop the link one more time before we get up out of here. I'm gonna let her speak her final thoughts and drop her link and also promote her books. Marie, she's gonna drop her email for you. So if you feel comfortable, doing it that way instead of putting like everything out here, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I would prefer you to do it that way. Email happiness, and she does communicate effectively. She'll get it with you instantly. And so yeah, again, y'all be man. If y'all 2024 is gonna be okay, I ain't gonna say great because we don't know what's gonna happen to us in a second. But if our 2024 5 is going to be okay. It's time to start removing ourselves from people, places, and things. You know what I'm saying? If something disturbs your spirit, get away from it. If somebody's on some BS with the CPS and all of that, remove yourself. Because who they are don't got to define who you are. If y'all get what I'm saying. And we not perfect. You know what I'm saying? We not perfect. There goes happiness is information. Marie, if you can write that down. Also drop your link, happiness. And I dropped the link one more time for you can come up here and finish your final thoughts and stuff. And we can get out of here because I'm coming back at 3:30. We're gonna talk about Ayanna Sawyer at 3:30. I haven't did a lot of research on her too much, but Lalisi had told me first to talk about Ayanna Sawyer. She definitely said nobody's talking about her and how much that case resembled just too close to the Naziah Harris case. And I was like, you're right, Lalisi, it is. Even the resemblance of the men and the ladies in the case, you know, the young ladies in the case is crazy. The story is too crazy and similar and stuff as well. But the night Zaya Harris case, I think is going a little deeper than they're all sick. They're all sick. But I think Naziah is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. If you didn't want to come back, it's okay. But she's promoting her books. Her books is on Amazon. But in Happiness, you're welcome to come back. I dropped the link for you down there. Thank you, Positive. I appreciate you so much, sis. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody that donated to the channel. Thank y'all so much. It means everything to me. I appreciate y'all. She said Amazon, that's where her books are sold. Thank you, Jamie. Here she goes. Go ahead, finish your final thoughts, Happiness, before we get up out of here. I wanted you to finish what you were saying, love.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that you guys that are going through any type of CPS ordeal, if you see any type of CPS ordeal or situation that needs to be addressed, abuse and neglect, that's the main focus. So a lot of things that's going on behind the scenes, and there's things that's going on like right before you. That's what you report. I advise you all to seek out personal counseling, even exploring things that are people that you that are dear to you in your life. Talk to those people. A lot of my knowledge and wisdom has come through a lot of people that was like 80 and 90 years old. I sit and talk with these folks doing hair and talking to these people over the years. And so those folks have made me come forward and be more, like I say, more sociable, and more and share more of those experiences about the trauma and the healing that needs to happen in our communities. And if you're depending on the government to make this change for you, it's not going to happen. You have to make those changes within yourself. And so one of the things that I've also it's called self-awareness. When you know that you're offset and something doesn't feel right with you, I want you to take your time to feel that moment and really assess yourself and go into self-help. YouTube is a wide range of resources to help you do this. Miss Parker is starting this thing, and she's going to take off because this is what people need to reassess and be self-aware of what's going on within their life. Start with you. Let's start there. Start with you. The fun and games, the kiki kakas, because I love that. That's why I'm part of the sector. Like, it's like I never found myself over here or in that sector, but that's how I found Miss Parker. And I enjoy her content and, you know, her vibe that she brings and what she's trying to do. A phenomenal woman. She's gonna be something. You're gonna be something else, Miss Parker. Oh man, you're gonna be something else.
this happiness, but I don't know. But I need it with the help of you and so many, and for you to come up here and drop that knowledge. Because, we'll spin a narrative in a minute. We'll tell a lie and CPS this, and it takes
No,
you to
it's not
talk
a
to somebody. You know what I'm
most,
saying? That's
most
beneficial
definitely.
to
I'm
know.
gonna come speak the facts. I'm gonna talk what I live because I lived through CPS. Let's start
Okay.
there.
Okay. And
I
the most
lived through that.
you even put
I
in it,
lived through foster parents. I lived through divorce. I lived, a life goes to change. And then see, what the older people got to do is give the folks that's younger, the babies that's younger, that's coming after us, to give them that knowledge. And then let's be that example. And you can't be that example being all over the place. You got
yeah,
to be solid. You got to be honest. You got to have some integrity. You got to have some character.
you do.
You got to have that. You got to have some loyalty. And you got to support the cause. And so y'all going to start support this page, y'all. Share it out, share it out, share it out. It's much, much needed. Um, and this lady, she's on a lot of channels. She's a moderator of a lot of channels, and her work is she's trying to. I see you, Miss Parker. I do. What you trying to do? What you doing?
Thank you. Thank
Y'all
you.
share this out, please, so that
I
she get
love
the recognition, and
I
then we
love
get the like,
and
we
happiness
get the
when you be
exposure.
going live.
Huh?
When do you be going live?
I don't go live. I don't go live. I don't go live. I can't go live, not yet. I'm busy behind the scenes. Believe it or not, I had a movie production call me, and this is just YouTube. It's YouTube, but it's YouTube in growing for me. And so we're gonna take bits and pieces to go with this, but I'm just a regular person. I touch the heart of people. I have to do this from my soul. I can't do it any other way. So if it comes to me sideways and you overhit it, you know what I mean? Like if you come to me and you're sideways and it's some flaky stuff going on, I can't deal with that. So I have to back away from it for a time, sometimes forever. It might be just, a severance. We just can't do it. But I just started this thing, um, and I'm just looking into it. And it's like so many damaged people. There's a lot of work to do over here. um, they may be not willing to do the work, and so and that's okay. You can't force grown people to do anything. But they're gonna come. It's gonna come a time and a place in their life where you know what? It's time for me to settle down. It's time for me to get it right. It's time for me to cut out the chaos. It's time for me to take an evaluation of my life. You hear me?
Mhm.
And what I got going on. I talk to people, man. I did that for 20 years and I got so much knowledge, man. I talked to people that was 80 and 90 years old and they were wise. And these people were successful people. I ain't talking about no Rudy Poos. And they were honored. They shut down the city when they buried these folks. And
Yeah.
so I talked to these people before it happened, and I went and did their hair. I look forward to it on my Mondays because usually the Mondays the salons are closed, and so we go to work Tuesdays after, and then Mondays the salons are closed. So I go on Mondays and I go do my elderly people, and I got a lot of wisdom from those folks. But then living it made me readjust my situation with CPS uh and forgiving folks that hurt me.
Mm.
Okay. And a lot of these people on this app is hurt people and they continue to hurt people, but you can't move ahead, move hurting people. So to your point, Miss Parker, uh, what I want to give the people today, if I don't never come back on this app and come back to your platform again, is I want to say to reassess yourself and
Mm.
where you are and be self-aware of what you got going on before you judge any other person. Take accountability and then move forward. And at least you know your truth and what you talking about. What you I might not mean shit to you. I might not mean a pot of beans to you or what you got going on. But I'm telling you this. I'm 49 years old. 49.
Mm.
It's a lot of years. And I'm looking to see 85. I asked God for 85 years. I asked him for that many moons ago. My kids are grown. I'm in midlife crisis now. And so I guess that's why I'm on this platform. Look, so I read the books
Absolutely,
and things.
Irvy.
So
Jamie
my
said,
kids,
"Yes, happiness. Happiness. I always say that it's not what I think; it's what I know." AC Shakur said, he subscribed to your channel. Yes, y'all go subscribe and check out Happiness Books. They're on Amazon, and you remember, y'all, 2025 is about support. What you give out, you get back tenfold, and you don't never know what
absolutely,
you're gonna get in a blessing. You know what I'm saying? It's in
absolutely.
the Bible, but you get it back tenfold. Or whatever. It'll be least when you expect it. Just when life's hitting you the hardest, you know what I'm saying? Things that come through and happen for you, and practice patience. I love how she just said accountability, holding ourselves accountable. Absolutely, we have to hold ourselves accountable, and that means stand on it, stand in your truth. You know what I'm saying? Stand in your faults, your wrongdoings. You know what I'm saying? That's part of getting it out there, self-healing and forgiving. You said some key words of her happiness. You know what I'm saying? She said you have a great spirit, happiness. She does.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good
you.
spirit.
Shout out to all those who have supported the channel. So subscribe to my channel. You guys, I haven't gone live yet. I'm waiting on the prompt so to, God and my being. I'm gonna do lively blogs of my daily life and what it is to I'm gonna start doing that. I cook now on my channel, so all you're gonna see is cooking videos because I love to cook. It's my passion, and that's what I do. So when I'm cooking, if you guys go to my videos, I am healing. I am being in my moment. I love cooking, and I love cooking for my family. And they come over, my boys, particularly my boys, and they bring their families over, and we cook, and we talk, and we chat. And, I visit my grandchildren, and we just have a good time. I'm not perfect by any means. My sons give me my baby boys give me the most headache right now with his mouth. I'm just being real. But in all essence, I am grateful. I am happy and grateful that I lived to see this. I witnessed murders. Get my books on Amazon.com. I've been through a lot. Miss Parker has been through a lot. We are here to tell you you can thrive through all the chaos and nuances of life. That's all. That's it. That's it.
Look what she said, happiness. I seen them sandwiches.
I appreciate you. It's trial and error, but I had to cook. I've been cooking for over 40 years now. So we're trying. We're doing what we can do, but things will get better. And we're moving forward. Ms. Parker, I appreciate you and thank you for this time.
Yeah. And happiness, if you don't mind, after my second book for my book club, I would love to bring one of your books to the book club if that's okay with you. And I'm gonna let you tell us which one would you prefer us to do.
I want to talk about mental health and awareness. I think that's going to be the best topic, and it's called trauma. I mean, not trauma and healing, but it's called stigma. The stigma book. My book on stigma.
So after our second book that we bring into the book club, our third book is gonna be by the author herself, Stigma. So y'all wanna go over there and subscribe to our channel for those that come through the video later on and y'all see this at the end and stuff like that. Subscribe. I dropped her link. This is my girl Happiness up here with me, and we're gonna do our third book in the book club. It's gonna be Stigma. But go on and order that book now. That way you can already know and get all the knowledge you can out of that book. You know what I'm saying? Get to know her through her words. You know what I'm saying? It's on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff
I
like that.
support the
So
real ones in the sector. Miss Parker, you, Mahia, B-Way, like I support the real ones. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. You see, a spirit of discernment says a lot. They do have flaws. Don't get me wrong. But I'm gonna tell you something about their character. They got character. And
mhm.
so I go along with their character. I can't vouch for nobody else.
You
But
know
when I
what?
sit back and the
Go ahead.
person that I am, I go on and I go on with it. And everything news and all this kind of thing. But the rest of them, the calling that CPS and all this kind of thing, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. And Hey, okay. Let the chips fall where they may. I just, y'all gotta do better, man. You gotta do better so these babies can be found out. The real babies. Me and my brother was lost. My brother lost his tongue. Me being molested in CPS custody. Let's start there. The system dropped the ball. So you can't rely on the system to take care of your needs. That's all I'm saying, people. And so let's start there with yourself. Healing, being being aware. I'll go back to that. Self-aware. Get yourself help. Get your therapy, your counseling. Get them babies back. Keep them babies. Because ain't nobody's gonna care for them better than you gonna care for them.
Amen.
Nobody. Nobody. Thank you, Miss Parker.
Thank you, Happiness. Thank you. And y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Happiness. Remember, our third book is going to be Stigma. It talks about mental health. A lot of us suffer from it. A lot of us been wanting to get the knowledge of mental health and get in the mind of some of the people that we see like, what's going on and what do we see? And maybe that'll give us a little bit more insight. Sometimes it takes us to read. Reading is fundamental at the same time. So we want to make sure we go and support our sister Happiness and get that book, and also support her channel. Go check out some of those sandwich videos that y'all say y'all seen that looks real delicious. Check out some of her food videos and let her know what y'all think in her videos. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to say it over here, but it's one thing for her to see you once you get over there and start supporting under those videos, and she sees that you really came through and checked her out. So let's do that. You know what I'm saying? For our good sis, and thank her for coming up here
I
and
appreciate you, sis.
dropping some gems with us. Thank you guys so much for even tuning in. I'm dropping some links. AC Shakira, y'all want to make sure y'all go subscribe. Got a channel, got a couple of videos over there. We can still go over there and do that. Perp came through. I seen you, Perp. Dropped Perp's link. Miss Denise just came in the chat. Let me drop her link. She is gonna start her channel and stuff like that. I'm coming back at 3:30. I changed it up. I need a break. I am drained, y'all. Right, like drained. I gotta get it back. So yeah, y'all come back over here with me at 3:30, and we're gonna talk about a little bit about Ayanna Sawyer's story. I want to listen to it with y'all. I haven't heard it yet, but I want to listen to it with y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the support. The name of the book is Stigma. It's on her channel. The Miss Denise said, thank you, Happiness, for the information. Yes, Miss Denise. Go follow her. And she did drop her email down here, guys. Miss Marie, I hope you're still in the bushes to get Happiness email. Miss Denise, you write this email down too, because I think you can get a lot of help from her. You know, like she said, the fight is together. So get that information right there, copy it down, you guys, and she will talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Very sweet, very sweet. And the name of the book is Stigma. Thank you, AC Shakira. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Okay. I know her case too. Okay, Denise, well, hit the panel with me at 3:30. Give us a little insight of what you know, because I'm not knowledgeable of the case. I didn't look into Rica's case as well. It just, once I heard those, I gotta bring it. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even finished playing them. It's one more part. This is still a half. I just played a snippet of part 2. And it's a part 3 out there to Young Rico's story. I'm gonna share it. And y'all make sure when I share these lives from these other content creators, subscribe to them. It might be something else. It might be another story that captures y'all. For Miss Denise, you like to do the true crimes, and I think Save the Children. Salute to her. Salute to you. Salute to you, my sister. Keep doing what you're doing on your channel, bringing awareness to try to save lives. That's outstanding. Your work is phenomenal. And I'm here to say it. I use it and I subscribe. Anytime I use somebody's content or anything, I subscribe to their channel. But she is phenomenal. Keep up the phenomenal work. May God bless you through that journey of you saying you've had to even go through your savings account. But may God bless you with abundance and so much more, to give us these kind of lives and do the research and go through the extent of the research, edit the videos, bring the mother into it, the social workers. Phenomenal videos. Thank you, my sister. If you out there and you ever heard this played over her, thank you. And stuff. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all go and enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. I'm ready to go. Give me a hot dog or something. I need some hot dog chips or something. Like something. I couldn't even finish my coffee, baby. She said the name of her book, thank you, Happiness. She said the name of my books are Trauma and Healing and Stigma. Get all the books, y'all. Order them all. Because I want to order them. I'm going to order those. And I think the Trauma and Healing, it'll be a personal book. Like, I wouldn't bring it into a book club because I want to see what you put in there. And then that gives us time. Get paper and pen and write your feelings down. If you upset, what made you mad for the day? How did you get there? Write your feelings first. I'm going to write it in the chat. I'm using my boyfriend's Cash App right now. I'm using Eric's Cash App right now, but you can send it to him. He'll give it to me. But I write my feelings down on paper. Thank you, Shan, sis. Thank you, and Shan. Hey, I need to see you up here with me. Tell me when and get up here with me. Before next week, because I gotta go back to work, so I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure out a lot of stuff before I go back to work, especially with my book club. And salute to David Weaver, Broken Crayon Still Color. Salute to that man for hitting me back up and said he wants to come over here with us for the book club. I'm gonna send him the book club link. Callie Boo. Hey Callie, come up here real quick. Happiness. You got my number. If you could shoot me a text, because I really need some helpful information. I really could use some helpful information with us talking about these social workers and stuff, okay? If you don't mind. But I asked y'all earlier, definitely on the book club. Okay. Yes. David Weaver hit me up and he said he would love to come and support the channel. And what, man, just like you, Happiness, with the Stigma book. What, man, ain't it better to have the person themselves that wrote the book up here with us? Huh? Man, that's going to be exciting. I don't even know how to act. I'm still like, got butterflies and chills from him. Thank you, David Weaver. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. It means everything. I asked y'all earlier, I don't know who was in here. I said, Good Times, the show, or what's happening and why. I got one more for you. Set It Off or Training Day and why. Which one between those two, which one is your favorite and why? Leave it outside the comment section. Remember, Set It Off or Training Day. Good Times or what's happening. Leave it outside in the comment section. I'm a #1 seller on Amazon. Let's go. Congratulations, Happiness. Congratulations. Man, that's awesome. I love my Black authors, baby. I love my Black authors. Congratulations. Man, this has been amazing. This has been amazing. She said, introvert. Okay. Yeah. If y'all got time, I'm doing a book club tomorrow. I'm going to be reading about starting with Rica, chapter 2. So I'm going to do like 3 chapters. I said 4. I'm going to change it. I'm going to do 4 and give y'all time to get y'all book. And then I'm going to come back on Tuesday and we're going to finish some more. Okay. Yeah. Thank y'all for saying congratulations to that. That's amazing. And for anybody that wants to write and stuff, Happiness, that's why I really wanted to conversate with you, but on some other stuff, you know what I'm saying? But for writers and stuff, if y'all need to get encouragement or what direction to go, I think Happiness will answer any questions for any upcoming writer or anything. And don't forget at 4:00 today, Blended Healing is doing poems. I forgot about that. I got to figure this timing out real quick because I might have to come back in just a second, but Blended Healing is doing poems at 4:00. So I gotta figure something out because I know I'll be writing my poems and stuff. So God put it on my spirit what to write. Cause Got a lot going on. It isn't enough time in a day, right? Shank Rock said that, and it is standing to be correct. It's not enough time in a day. And also remember, y'all, life is too short to be arguing stupid. That's what I want y'all to leave out of this live with. Life is too short to argue with stupid. And when I see stupid, I'm going to point them out. I'm going to point them out. I'm going to point stupid out. Every time. Every time. Life is too short to argue with stupid. That's the and also don't forget awareness is a must. And hopefully y'all go follow K Kerr in the Bando as well. She's been talking about the Naziah Harris case. The Knot's been talking about the Naziah Harris case. Star One Life has really been talking about the Naziah Harris case. Kiwi Hot Topics definitely talked about her at one point. And Desco Raven also talked about Naziah Harris. For those following that story, those content creators are talking about her or have discussed this trial, this story, this is crazy. It is so many down the rabbit holes with this one. It's disgusting. It's unbelievable. These stories are getting darker and sicker as time goes by. Let me drop your link short stack real quick in Cali's. I'm slipping. Y'all make sure y'all go follow my sister, Miss Callie's Kitchen. I'm fixing to turn my phone off for today until I come back and do my lives. Actually, I'm gonna be doing that for the week. I think, y'all. I think I'm out after today. I'm gonna turn my phone off and get to some research, get into my books, and get into a lot of different stuff that I need to. I'm slacking. Really, I'm slacking. Y'all go follow my girl Short Stack too. Upcoming content creators, go show some love, okay? She talked about the One You Blessed Assurance hymn song 2225. Your story matters. Happy Black History Month. Thank you, AC Shakira. We definitely need that. I'm humble. Thank you. That's what's up. Nika, my love. Thank you for coming through. Tanika the Empress. Thank you for Shank Rock. Y'all make sure y'all pull up on Shank Rock tonight. Subscribe and support. For those that's following the Shanquilla Robinson story, he has some updated information he would like to share. And give your thoughts. Come through. Give your thoughts. Coming back to speak on. Okay. Make sure y'all pull up and support all of these channels. AC Shakira's live is the link is dropped. His link is dropped. Short Stack's link is dropped. Happiness. Oh, my girl Shan. Man. Shan is kind of revamping, and we're gonna support her along her journey to help her revamp. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so overwhelmed with story. Oh yeah, real quick, Miss Wish. Y'all, it has been another plane, but this plane has caught on fire. Let me share that with y'all really quick before we get up out of here.
Some breaking news out of Houston, Texas, after a United airplane caught fire at Bush's airport right there. It did have to be evacuated. So far, no reports of any injuries, but I did want to share some video that's coming into our studio. Take a listen.
I don't know how to get out the lighting. Sorry, y'all, the lighting. I'm I'm gonna share this live. I'm gonna share this video outside of
All right, so that was some video right there that we did want to share with you from our Fox 26 Houston. Meanwhile, you are taking a live look at Houston, Texas right now. I did want to share some more information about the flight from Houston to New York that did have to be evacuated after it caught fire during takeoff. That's according to the FAA. And the very latest is that the FAA says the crew of United Airlines Flight 1382 had to stop their takeoff from George Bush Intercontinental Airport because of a reported engine issue that happened at around 8:35 a.m. local time this morning. We shared video acquired by Fox 26 Houston with you, showing that the wing of the plane caught on fire. And in that video, you've heard of.
Man, let me tell y'all this. Y'all be safe. Ayana Sawyer, short stack, my bad, sis. Remember, you are all valuable, appreciated, loved. I'll see you later. Okay, see you later. You're welcome, Shan. You're welcome. Make sure y'all go subscribe. But man, if y'all got trips planned or anything, man, be cautious, be safe. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. It's just getting crazy. And somebody else sent me, maybe it was it was Nola. Nola sent me a clip last night. I think it was Nola, but I'm giving credit to whoever sent it, but I can't remember off top. But it was a engine, and the captain had to tell them they wanted him to fly. They said they telling the captain while he's in the pit that it was you, Miss Wish. They telling the captain while he's in the pit, thank you so much, love, thank you. They telling the captain that, oh yeah, the plane has a malfunction of fuel pressure and this, but we'll fix it once you get to Hawaii. And okay, not that one. My bad. No. Okay. Somebody sent it last night, and I want y'all to hear it really quick. I'm gonna play it really quick. I keep saying I'm getting out of here. Y'all ain't gonna never get to eat. I never get to eat. But it was so interesting. I was like, wow. I said he made a good decision. Maybe it was Top Flight, because I don't see it right here. Wait a minute. Bomb scare in New Orleans. See, I be getting so much. I don't remember like who sent what. I try to keep up with it just so I can give y'all flowers for sending me stuff. But anyway, Flight, was it you? And I said, oh wow. Just wow. But I was like, no, I'm gonna tell y'all who it was. So Trollific. It was a So Trollific. So Trollific, if you out there, I do want to play that clip on your short video that you did. And I said he made a good decision because yeah, y'all know how many people would have did it? Would have kept going or taking a plane and I ain't going. I can't even find it now. I think it was So Trollific. But anyway, it was a plane going to Hawaii, and they're telling him why he's in the pit of the plane, like, hey, the fuel pressure thing is messed up, but we'll fix it. He was like, nah, we ain't doing that. He said, we ain't doing that. It was on a lie. It was on somebody's short. He was like, nah, we not doing that. I'm not, he said, is there another plane here? I'll do that. But he said, yeah, I don't know what to tell y'all, but I'm not risking going over water for flying for all them hours and risking our lives. And I was like, man, applause. So the girl was like, basically like, what would y'all do? Would y'all have done the same thing? And she said, because I would have been like, let me hop off this plane. But see, those are things that they're not going to tell us. You're just going to see that you're getting pushed off that plane either to another one or it's going to be delayed. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Miss Wish. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, love. Thank you for switching lanes with me. Thank you for trusting me to drive you to switch lanes. Okay, we're gonna take this ride together. Thank you. But yeah, the captain definitely said, nah, I ain't. He said, nah. He said, that's one time I gotta make this call. How many of them don't make that call though on them planes and just take that chance without hundreds of lives? To where they even said, we'll fix it when we get there. No, if it's a problem, the problem got to be fixed now. Because that problem, he saved the lives of hundreds. So salute to that captain. Flowers to that captain for using his first mind to say, no, I don't know what y'all going to do, but yeah, I'm not comfortable. If there's not another plane that I can use to get there, he said, no, I'm sorry, But at the same time, and I'm thinking, don't apologize for saving my life. Don't apologize for thinking about your life, but thinking about mine too. So prayers to those in Philadelphia, prayers to those people in Houston that God saw fit to get off that plane while that wing was on fire before takeoff. Thank you, Miss Wish, for sending me that. Thank y'all for everybody that's sending me all these good stories to cover, all this information, keeping me up to date so I can bring it live and discuss it so we can say what's happening, what's going on. A lot of us got trips already planned in the making. Are we comfortable? So those are some things to think about. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'll see y'all back here in about an hour. Thank y'all again for tuning in with me. Thank y'all for the information. Thank y'all. Thank you, Miss Happiness, again. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to all these content creators. And then I hope to see y'all back in about an hour.